The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is, oh shit, this is the most wild NFL offseason of all time. Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. This sports show begins right now. Yeah. Can't thank you enough for joining us here at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. All the boys are here. At Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor, holding down the toxic table. I appreciate you, boys.
Hey, appreciate you, pal.
Appreciate you, boys. One half of the Hammer, Dahn Cowboys. Tone Diggs is here.
Sup, dude?
Sup, dude?
Chiefs are dead.
All right, let's dive right into it. News broke this morning that really struck us all by surprise. Tyreek Hill has been given the okay to seek a trade away from the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, none of us knew this was happening. No, none of us could have expected this. What the hell is going on in the NFL? Russell Wilson, traded. Devontae Adams, traded. How you doing? Keep it moving. Deshaun Watson, traded. Now Tyreek Hill, in my eyes, okay, as somebody who had to punt a ball to him and as somebody that has watched him play football now a lot like you guys, they're on national television, the most explosive player to ever come into the NFL. I understand Randy Moss, best wide receiver of all time, okay? Randy Moss did things that nobody else did. Randy Moss also 6'4", fucking just freak show. He take the top off of anybody, do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. I understand Jerry Rice, very, very good. Tyreek Hill, though, the way he has been used by Andy Reid, he is an always on electrifying wide receiver. He's running 2 miles before the play even starts, okay? Before the play even starts, he's running gassers back and forth. And whoever has to cover him, not only do they have to keep up with a guy that runs a fucking probably on-field 4.2, but they also have to keep up with him cardio-wise. And somehow this guy's body's been able to be faster than everybody, more durable than everybody, hasn't blown out any muscles, and he's also tough. He takes hits and everything like that, and he's in shape. He is a guy that if you get him on your team, you'd get him on your team. And you would think that the Kansas City Chiefs would understand that, hey, we got Tyreek Hill, we got Travis Kelce. These motherfuckers don't have enough people. We can beat whoever, whenever, however. Even though Patrick Mahomes is unbelievable, I think whenever you take Tyreek Hill out of there, you're going to see a little bit of a drop-off and a little bit of a difference on how people play you. I might be wrong. I'm not as high of a football IQ person as Andy Reid, obviously, but this dude is who I assume a lot of teams are just finding out about being available or who they're going to want on their team. Now, granted, it's supposed to be a first and a second rounder to trade for Tyreek Hill, depending upon which reports you listen to. Early reports said they wanted 2 firsts. My first response immediately upon hearing that is, nobody's going to spend 2 firsts on a wide receiver. Then the internet followed up. Andrew Brandt said, nobody's going to spend 2 first rounders for a wide receiver. Then the internet said, hey, those who are saying it's 2 first rounders, not accurate. It's actually going to be a first and a second is what they think it's going to take to get Tyreek Hill. But once again, we don't know shit about fucking until it actually happens. Allegedly, the Dolphins and the Jets are the 2 favorites to get Tyreek Hill. At Bubba Gumpino, diehard Miami Dolphins fan, you guys get a new coach. You got a quarterback that they're saying, hey, this is our quarterback. You get a backup in Teddy Bridgewater, who's awesome. You got Waddle, obviously. You got Devontae down there. Now you potentially get Tyreek Hill. Is Tua going to be able to get him to rock Gumpy?
Him and Waddle run wild. We got Armstead O-line now. I mean, if we get it done, come on. We'll win the Super Bowl in March. Let's go.
Okay, so we talked to Chris Ballard yesterday, Indianapolis Colts general manager, and he said, obviously, Super Bowls are won in a 2-week span in March. Mm-hmm. And he said that to us, I think, last year, too, whenever the hype of the free agency is insane. But this particular year, the big names are moving. Tyreek Hill is an immediate game changer. He changes the math, right? You hear like Darius Butler or any of the people in the defensive talk. It changes the math, We don't have enough motherfuckers to cover this guy, that guy, because we got to have at least 3 sets of eyes on this son of a bitch because he's faster than fucking everybody. Go ahead, Tig.
As soon as the show started, Schefter tweeted that the Jets and Dolphins both now have the trades in place. That they're just waiting on Tyreek Hill to decide, and basically he is torn. A lot of people underneath commenting the 10% tax rate in Jersey. I mean, he could live in New York too, or the 0% in Florida.
Nobody lives in New York that plays for the Giants or Jets, I don't think.
Okay, so Jersey then would be the 10%.
I think they all live in Jersey. That's quite a broad brush I just painted. I assume somebody lived in the city, but I do believe a massive amount of them live in New Jersey because that's where everything is, the Meadowlands and everything. Commute into New York for date night, wife night, everything that. But no state tax, and you're in Miami. Yeah. Mike McDaniel seems to be one of the coolest dudes of all time. Not that Bob Saleh isn't. What if the Dolphins just make all these fucking plays? That's wild. Congrats to you on your patience for 30 years.
Wow. Here we go, Gump.
I still don't know why he's a Colt. Let's transition out of the NFL, although a lot more will happen today, we assume. Is Tyreek Hill going to be on the move today? We will keep an eye and an ear to the ground on all of that. Now we get a chance to get joined by one of the most electrifying characters in all of sports.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody that we were introduced to whenever there was no crowd in the fucking UFC. A guy that came out, dominated, talked shit in an incredible accent. Yeah. And then we all said, holy hell, who the fuck is this guy? Patty the Batty. Who is Patty the Batty? Then we heard the noise get made. Then we heard all the side stuff. We said, this guy's hysterical. This guy's a badass. This guy's seasoned. And he says to Dana White, you get us into the O2, we'll blow the roof off the gaff. We said, what the fuck is a gaff? It's a house. He did just that. First round sub this past weekend. Now I believe he's in a food coma and hopefully taking care of his LCL. Ladies and gentlemen, the next face of the fight game. Patty the Batty Pittman.
Yeah!
What's up, dude?
What's happening? How are we, the fellas? What's going down?
Hey, am I allowed to say Scouser? Or is that something like only Liverpool people are allowed to say?
No, you can say it if you want, but it's Scousers, not Scousers.
Okay, Scousers.
There you go.
Hey, are you the toughest Scouser of all time, or is this a natural thing for Scousers to be badass humans?
We're just all badass, to be fair, but there's a lot of fighters from this city, like, a lot of fighters.
How'd you get into it originally? You were fighting on the street, and then people said, hey, you should start training, or have you always been mixed martial arts badass?
I just started doing MMA when I was 15 and was good at it, so continued to train.
We talked about we watched them talk during your fight, okay? And it was interesting. It was a quick fight, obviously. Hey, first round. Torn LCL. Ain't nothing to a Scouser. It's always going to be entertaining whenever you fight. But we heard them talk, and they said everybody thinks Patty's like a bomb thrower and like knock people out. He's like, this dude is a jiu-jitsu master on the mat. I don't think a lot of us knew that because we're kind of getting introduced to you. Is that something that you have always been better at? Have you been a bomb thrower, or you kind of got both of them? That's why you're the next fighter in this whole game.
Well, years ago I was just a grappler, know what I mean? I had to evolve my game and become a striker also. That's why in my first UFC fight I wanted to show everyone me striking, because a lot of people were just calling me a grappler. That's why I said he's getting knocked out. And then that's why in this fight I didn't really mind. I said he's getting finished in the first. I don't know if I'm going to knock him out or submit him, because just whatever comes. And I just took whatever came, and it was his neck.
Dude, you just, hey, when you got his back and you're just drumming his face, like it literally, and I'm not a fighter and I know nothing about it, but we could almost see you saying, you're going to give me your fucking chin at some point. All right, just give me it. Now, you had your legs completely, I mean, I've never seen somebody more comfortable, just completely locked in around that fucking guy like a goddamn boa. And then you're playing drums on his face, and it's like, hey, you're going to give me this chin at some point. And then as soon as you locked it in, they're like, it's over. And then you go bananas. And I think the fact that you go bananas is why we all love you so much. Before that fight, okay? Oh, Patty the Batty. Oh, Patty the Batty. And you're fucking high-fiving everybody. You're dancing around. You're doing that whole thing. And then moments before the fight started, you flipped the switch. You flipped the switch, and you became like this locked-in human being. Is that how you are every fight? Are you always loose, and then once the cage gets in there, you become a maniac? Or is that just natural for you?
Yeah, that's just what I do. Like, I enjoy the walkout. The walkout's boss. I love jumping up and down and getting the crowd going. That's what I was born to do. But once the cage door's shut, it's only you and him in there. So you need to keep your eyes on him and get worrying about him. Until you've won, that's when you forget about the crowd until you've won.
Is there any intimidation that happens in there from you to him or him to you before the fight? Are you trying to do mental games at all, or is it just you doing your thing?
Yeah, you probably could be saying you're trying to use a mental game, to be honest, yeah. But you just know once everyone gets out the cage, it's just you and him in there, that it's you and him having a fist fight. You haven't really got to worry about anyone else. So if you wanted to get a little advantage doing that, then yeah. But I just see it as, I want to punch you in it in now.
Hey, he said that he thought you weren't serious enough to be in the fight game. I'm assuming you've heard that forever. Have you always been this carefree and joyful, and do you see this being for you for the rest of your life?
Yeah, this is me forever. Lad, I can't help it. I just enjoy fighting with people. It sounds mad to say, but I enjoy getting punched and punching people in the head. Even though I hardly punched them in the head, I kicked them more.
Hey, Patty, right before they announced you as the winner, one of the funniest things of all time, and it kind of got lost in all of it because you jumped over, dapped up Dana White, you did the whole thing. Right before they said you're a winner, you did he had your hand, you did this like shrug smile to the camera. Yeah, it was awesome. I started laughing so hard. My wife dying laughing. You were beloved by everybody. Have you talked to Dana since the fight? And has he thanked you for everything you've brought to the fight game? Because you are different than everybody. Everybody, it feels like.
No, I haven't. I haven't spoken to him since the fight, like since I jumped over and whispered in his ear. He's probably back in America now, but I'm hoping to be back in America in the next few weeks. So you never know, I could end up bumping into him again.
What you whisper in his ear?
That's definitely another 50 grand for me. I'm never in a boring fight.
Were you surprised you weren't one of the co-main events?
No, because Arnold Allen's on, like he's on a 9-fight win streak now, and Tom Aspinall's the heavyweight main event lad. I gathered that, to be honest. I knew it wouldn't be. But I'm just made up for them two as well, getting the win, made up for Molly getting the win, and it was a big night for UK MMA in general.
The building showed up too. The fans were fucking awesome, Patty.
Well, imagine when you come to Liverpool. Imagine when you actually come to Liverpool, lad. Because that's London, that's not my hometown.
Hey, those people were all there for you?
Yeah, of course he was.
I heard, I was so confused. I was watching the fight. I actually put out a tweet, and you wouldn't have seen this, obviously, but a lot of people did. I said, hey, can somebody let me know when Patty's fight is? Like, when is Patty's fight? I literally just tweeted that out. And they're like, it should be around 5:30. I'm like, oh, so that must be the end of this thing. So then I go over at 5:30, and, you know, the math of the time, 6 hours, I think, 5. Fuck, I'm too dumb for that. But I literally turned on the fight, and they're like, after the thing, they're like, oh, there's more fights after this. I was like, whoa. What is the deal? I thought you were going to be the showstopper. I understand the guy did a great job, but the fans throughout the entire night were banana lands. You said, let's go to Anfield. Why do you think Dana's going to do more European fights after how the fans showed up and how the night went?
Yeah, 100%. He's going to come back to the UK before the end of the year. I know he is. And that probably will be the main event.
How about that guy that called you out? What's that all about?
Hand sanitizer, boy.
What do you mean?
Yeah, give him his due, lad. He looked good, he did, but he got it with that head kick hard. If I hit him with that head kick, lad, he doesn't recover. I take us back and choke him dead fast. But you never know, could end up fighting him in the future. For now, lad, I'm 1-0 up, lad. I bounced the hand sanitizer off his head and he done nothing about it.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's move. You are the guy that everybody's calling out now. Is that interesting? Because you've probably been the guy hunting for a long time, hunting now. Now you've become the guy with a bullseye on your back. And you said you're not going to, the lion doesn't concern themselves with the opinion of the sheep. You are the lion in this game. Your mane, by the way, is fantastic. The hair is fantastic. The only person you called out was Instagram, I think. And you didn't call them lizards this time, but you called them the biggest bullies of all time. Are you still battling with Instagram? What's that all about?
Yeah, 3 weeks before my fight, my new account got disabled on 920,000 followers.
Why? What did you do? Do you bully people on there? What do you do?
Because I put a video of a young boy who's 3 and he's got a disease, he's dying, know what I mean? And I brought him on the stage with me at the UFC weigh-in, and some piece of shit commented something horrible about him. So I reported the comments. Instagram didn't remove the comments. So I then went in on one on him saying, you're a piece of dog shit. My account got took off me the next day for calling him a piece of dog shit.
Isn't that bullshit? Hey, isn't that it? Because that person who's a nobody could say something, and if you respond, you're not professional, you're violating policies and everything like that.
It's an absolute disgrace. So that's why I had that to say about Zuckerberg, lad. He's the biggest bully on the planet. He's took my livelihood away from me. Me platform that I use to help people with mental health and charities and little kids GoFundMe pages, they took that away from me. But, you know, it's all right because they're still earning money.
How old are you, Patty?
27.
You have this joy about you, dude. It is awesome to watch. Why do you think that is? Do you just enjoy every moment of your life? Do you try not to focus on any of the bad shit? Why do you think you are such a positive person in a combat sport?
Because I'm just not like everyone else. You know what I mean? Everyone else tries to conform to one way or the other. Like, they'll try and be something they're not, where I'm just me. If anyone ever wanted me to be anything else, they wouldn't. It'd just be weird, because I'm just me. I don't try and put on any act. I don't try and do anything different. And I think people can just see how much of a genuine person I am, and that's what draws them to me. And the fact I go wild when I win.
Yeah, how do you not though, right? Aren't you like super, like at that moment, whenever you do the shrug, is it like everything I've worked my ass off, all the dieting I've done, where, by the way, we've seen you. Hey, you cleaned some shit up here last night. I think I saw you with a couple burgers, some pizza, some wings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
An entire thing. You actually said, I'm going into a food, I'm going to get a little fat. You said, me going to get a little
The last Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, I've ended up in a food coma. 3 nights on the bounce. The
Hey.
missus isn't happy.
Hey, when you're retired, you're going to be like 300, 400 pounds or what?
Yeah, when I retire, lad, I'm moving over to America. I'm just going to eat pure fucking all sorts. Yeah, look, that was last night. I ate me burger, a portion of chips, and a full portion of them wings. And then before, there was another half a portion of wings left and half of me bird's wrap. So I ate me bird's wrap and the wings
Hey,
when I got back from my run.
hey, congrats on enjoying life.
Hell yeah.
But how long is the fight camp? How long is the diet? What is the training like getting ready for that fight that
It
ended
was
in?
like, that fight was like 10 weeks or something, which is mad because for 10 weeks I eat like a monk. I've got to train like a monk, and then everything else. I don't go out, have a bevy, don't do nothing. And then literally away in it, set 155. And then now it's Wednesday and I'm about 188 or something.
How long does it take for you to get back down in the 10 weeks? Does it go quick? Like, are you back in shape?
Yeah, I get back down to 77 like in about 4 or 5 weeks. And then from there I just maintain and slowly get my weight down, because I still do like 10 pounds in water.
What happened to your LCL? What is your LCL? Is that's one of the ligaments, obviously. You tore that in practice?
Yeah, I popped it the other week when I was wrestling with Jason. It popped. And obviously I just got on with it, but the next, later on that day, I couldn't walk properly. It was 3 weeks out, and then on the Friday I had to work around it. I just had to take lots of anti-inflammatories and not do much on it for a little week.
Did it
and then
worry
it went
you?
down.
Did it
So
worry you at all?
It's still injured now, but I just crack on, lad. We're not bitches.
Did that worry you at all or no?
I've done it before. Leading into a fight, I'm like hypermobile. My flexibility is quite weird, so me popping stuff's quite normal.
Are you going to get surgery on that to get fixed, or is it just going to heal itself because you're
Yeah,
back?
just let that heal up.
When is your next fight, you think? I guess you haven't talked to Dana. You said you're coming back to America in a couple weeks. I think the whole world would like to see you back in there. But hey, for the right fucking price, Patty. Make sure it's for the right
Yeah,
price.
of course. I'm hoping we get contact renegotiating after this one, because I proved how much I'm worth the other night with a crowd there.
Yeah, and it's been reported you made $12,000 to show up, $12,000 for the win, and then a $50,000 bonus. You don't have to tell us if those are accurate numbers or not, but are you negotiating those, or you have an agent negotiating you with those, or?
Yeah, like my manager doing it for me, and he's always got my best interest at heart, so I'll always have him doing it for me.
Hey, I think Dana knows now. It has to.
Yeah.
I don't know how he didn't before. I think we all knew. Honestly, when I turned that fight on, I thought you were the fucking main event. I thought it was the last fight. I'm like, all right, this is awesome. How do we go from here? And then like, we got 2 more fights left. I'm like, what the fuck? How is that even possible? What was it like afterwards? The party, the bevies, pretty heavy?
It was quality, to be honest, lad. As I say, I'm more about my food than my drink, so I had one alcoholic drink, and then just ordered loads of wings and burgers and that. I was starving, lad.
What,
Absolutely Hank Marvin.
You and Meatball Molly just fucking destroy a restaurant?
And Molly was drinking alcohol raw, lad. She was drinking it raw, and she just runs around on one, and then I'm just sitting there with me burger.
You two train together. Big friends, good friends. How long have you known each other?
About 10 years, 9, 10 years, you know what I mean? Long time.
What was that song you guys were singing in the locker room before? It looked like the most peaceful locker room of all time. You two started singing that song. It was like the greatest promo video I've seen. What was that song?
That's our mates from Liverpool. My mate, Jamie Webster. That's his song, to be honest. Weekend in Paradise, I think it was we were singing, but he's got 2 albums out, so we have his tunes on all the time.
Last question from me before the boys have them. Justice for 90...
The 97.
97. Okay, so I've heard 96 and 97. I tried to look up what it was. Something happened where there still has been...
it was 96, but then another person, I think it was last year, succumbed to their injuries, last year. So it's the 97 now.
What is that? So for the Americans that don't know, because obviously it was something that the entire arena was singing alongside of you, and you're a very passionate person, good person. It had to be something. I looked into it a little bit. I don't think I fully understood what it was, though.
Like over 30 years ago now, I wasn't even alive at the time. Because of like police errors at a stadium, bad communication between the police, they let like too many fans in, and they used to have big metal fences at the front, and where there's too many fans in there, people got crushed against the fences, people suffocated and died and stuff. And for a while after it, Liverpool fans got the blame. There was papers reporting that we were pickpocketing, fans were pickpocketing dead people on the floor and pissing on them and that, like urinating on them. And so that's another reason why I say we don't buy the Sun, because in our city we don't. That paper tried to make us look like disgusting toe rags, and a lot of the country believed it at first. The establishment worked against us, but you never keep a scout at Dahn, lad, and we come back with a vengeance.
Hey, thanks for taking a stand for that and opening that up for a lot of people, because I honestly looked it up and I'm like, man, this guy seems to be the perfect fucking human. He's happy, he beats people's ass, seems to take care of people, and now he's screaming for something that's happened before he was even alive. Hey, Patty, you're a fucking awesome guy. I hope you know that. I mean, you eat a lot of food, you beat the fuck out of people. You're an awesome dude, though. I hope you know that you have massive amount of fans everywhere. Go ahead, Ty.
Patty, as your notoriety and like your star increases, have you thought about, like obviously everyone just immediately compares you to being like Conor McGregor, like are there guys that you want to call out or that you have your eye on, or is it really just like hey, whoever they put in front of me for the time being, I'm just gonna continue to beat their ass? Like, is there anyone you're kind of eyeing up that you'd like to fight coming up?
Nah, it's just it really is genuinely for me. Whoever they put in front of me, I don't care. Like, I'll fight anyone, but make sure what I'm getting paid is worth what I'm getting paid to fight this person.
Yeah, this is a business now. This isn't back whenever you're selling out fucking arenas, Patty. Do you think about that? I know you've talked about it a lot, and I think the reason why I like you so much, and I put out a tweet that I'm so happy for this dude. A lot of people talk. A lot of people talk. You talk, hey, I'm the new face of the fight game. With your incredible accent, you actually say it, and it's like, oh, shit, I like the moxie on this guy. And then you go and just bury people. It is, not a lot of people can do both. Not a lot of people can do, you're a special fucking human, Patty.
That's just me, that I always say it. I was put on this earth to do this, fight people and entertain people. I'm just good at it. People say they're drawn to me, and I've got that it factor, and that's boss, lad. It's nice to hear, because I'm just being myself.
Hey, you used to be known as a grappler, now you worked on your fighting. Is there anything you got to continue to work on right now, or you feel like you're the best fighter you can be?
No, that's how I fucked up years ago, lad, thinking I was the best and I was only 21. You get better every single day in the gym training, so I'll be back in the gym next few days, working my ass off again, lad, to get better.
Hey, that's a miserable profession, that training. It is so tiring. I mean, the cardio is exhausting. Then you're also eating punches. Yeah. People are doing everything. You love every part of it, huh?
Yeah. The part I hate the most is the dieting. And that's a fact. That's what I hate the most about this sport in general, dieting.
Will you ever go up a weight class?
No, I'm too small for that weight class. But in the future, when I get a bit older and I am a bit like more naturally bigger as well, and yeah, maybe, but for now I'm a 155.
What's the goal? What's the goal for you in this entire thing? Just to become the greatest of all time?
Yeah, because I do this for legacy. I don't do it for fame or fortune or nothing. Like, I got into this sport just to show them how good I am.
Let's get some fortune, though. You know.
Yeah, it comes with the charity.
Go ahead, Connor.
Patty, do you have like a mental timeline of when you want to fight for the title? Like, do you think that's something that'll happen before the year's out, or is that almost something?
No, I'm not unrealistic, lad. That's going to be like a 2025 thing or something, lad.
How come?
Just take it one step at a time, lad. We'll see. Especially now the way my money is, lad. If I'm fighting for this amount of money, then I don't want to fight anywhere near for the title yet. I want to be getting paid championship money before I even fight for the title.
Oh, that's smart, by the way, because you're bringing championship sales. Mm-hmm. Hey, that guy hits you with the. I mean, Bisping asked you about a bunch, and by the way, Bisping, I don't know enough about him. A lot of respect, though. Massive respect. He does well. But all he talked about and all the people talked about is, he caught you early. He caught him early with a punch that wasn't expected. That's why the entire thing went to the ground, basically. I think the last time we talked to you, you said, like, when you get punched in the face, it, like, wakes you up. Did that happen in that fight?
Yeah. As Paul said to me as we went back in the back, say, lad, what did I say? You need because I said to Paul, I think we're going to have to start getting Paul to punch me in the back before I walk out.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Can we stop that? Can we change that a little bit or no?
Swear, lad, I'm going to have to get a proper slap across the face or something just to wake me up. Because I do it all the time, lad. It does me own head in, but it's one of them, lad. It makes the fight even better. Because without that, lad, that would have just been a little takedown, domination on top for a minute and then a submission like it was anyway. But I got the crowd going first, lad. Got their heart sinking.
Yeah, you got mine. I mean, I was watching like, oh, shit, dude, what's going on? And then I literally remembered you saying, no, I got to get punched in me face to wake up or whatever. I'm like, what a fucking specimen you are. Was there any moments you were worried or out or close to? No. When you stumbled there, it was just like, oh, shit, didn't expect that to come. There was never a worry.
Yeah, no, that's something else what I do a lot as well. I shoot a stupid, sloppy single leg takedown, lad. I always do it. Say like someone catches me with a punch in a fight, I'll lean against the cage and then push off the cage and do it. That's where like I let people push me to the cage too much. That's something I need to work on. But like the takedown was fucking disgraceful, lad. I'm so disappointed in myself. Like when he asked me about my performance, it was like about a 5 out of 10 because that wasn't a good performance. That personally, like I just got the win.
Hey, you gotta win, dude. All right, listen, you can watch film, you can get better. Let's not get crazy. As soon as that thing went to the ground, that's when I think we all learned that you were an incredible grappler and a jiu-jitsu guy. I was like, no, Patty, this is where Patty wants to be. This is exactly where it was. I'm like, really? I didn't fucking know that. And literally, look, your legs so far wrapped around, that's like teach tape, right? Like, hey, try to get your legs wrapped around as close as possible and then just play drums on his cheeks. Literally, you just play drums on his cheeks and then you choke him out. There was never a doubt, huh? You were in complete control that entire time on the ground?
Yeah, I knew that was coming, lad. As soon as I got on top of him, like if you watch it, I think within, it's like, from the moment I get on top, it's like 50 seconds until I submit him. You know what I mean? I knew it was going to be like that as soon as he'd give me his back. That's what we said. Like, if you probably on me vlogs, it'll be on where Ellis and Paul will say Paddy will end up on top. Vargas will make a mistake and give his back, and that's it. Paddy will capitalise from there, and that's exactly what happened.
Is that how you planned? Is that like every fight you have a game plan on how you can beat said person? Like this one you probably knew was going to end up in a sub, or no?
That was what we said before, and like it's more than likely going to be a submission this one. And I'll probably end up taking his back because he gives you his back.
How's your cardio? Are you just incredible cardio? You didn't look tired at all, ever. And you celebrate it in like the wasted energy, people call it. You do it all.
I used to be bad, you know what I mean? When I used to cut a lot of weight to make 145. But ever since I moved up to 55 and started working with my S&C coach and nutritionist now, Paul Reed, my cardio is perfect.
Did you just burp up a burger right there in the middle of your sentence?
Yeah, burp mid sentence there. Like.
Hey, what's on the menu for today?
Well, I'm just eating some Galaxy chocolate now.
What is that, Galaxy chocolate?
Galaxy. Got caramel in the middle.
Oh, nice. Milk chocolate there? Dark chocolate?
No, milk, and then these are the Malteser truffles.
Hey, so today's a sweets day? Oh,
every day's a sweets day.
Except for those 10 weeks that you got to fight somebody.
I came home and the missus had all that just there.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Congrats on the win.
Was a gaff lad.
Oh, look at that egg. So that's like the European Reese's. Oh, let's go, dude. Donuts.
Donuts.
Oh, let's go. Big Cat just saw that in one banana. Let's go.
These are heavy. These cookies. Get on these.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Is that chocolate chip there?
Yeah, they're heavy, and then you have like and then the steel cheesecake.
Is that all today, or is that just in the next few days, or whenever you get to
Nah,
it?
this is next few days.
Oh my God, man, I love you. I think that is something that I'm an eater as well. Have you always been?
I'm a bad eater, lad. I'm terrible for it. Like, I eat too much.
No, you don't. You fucking eat, and then for 10 weeks you don't. You beat people up in front of thousands and thousands of people, then you eat again. You're doing just fine.
That's a good ratio there. You're right. That's what I do. I get fat.
Yeah. And then you get 10 weeks, you get thin, and you become a fighting machine. Then you kill people, then you don't, man. It is. So we used to have to do that for weed, right? So like for the NFL, we get tested for weed. Everybody's got to stop smoking for like a month. You just have to stop eating for 2.5 months, and then you're off and running.
That is what I have to do. Get off that, you little bastard.
Who's that, dog? Was that dog?
Yeah, eating me wrappers.
What type of dog do you have?
An XL Bulldog is. Lenny?
Oh. Sit!
Who's that, Lenny? Just starts to eat wrappers and that. No, get away from the donuts, lad.
This is amazing. The next time we talk to you, I assume you'll have a whole new gaff, by the way. You'll have You have a whole new gaff. The missus will be able to stuff it with even more donuts. Go ahead, Tone.
Patty, you dropped the Hank Marvin Starvin earlier, and obviously we know bees is money and Barney Rubble is trouble. Do you have any other favorite slang terms that you could drop on us?
Lad, know what? I'm terrible when you put me on the spot like this. Well, there's ones like apple and pears, stairs. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Oh, lad, my mind's gone blank. Sorry, fella.
Don't worry about it, man. This has been a great conversation. We're very proud of you. We're very happy for you, as is the rest of the world. Keep killing it, bub.
Thank you very much, the fellas. I've no doubt that I'll see you again in the next couple of months when someone else gets their head punched in.
Okay, let's go. Whenever they lose, whenever you beat somebody else's ass, we'll get to chat with you. You'll be in the middle of another food coma, hopefully.
Yeah, with my cheeks looking like this again.
Hey, enjoy your riches, sir. You deserve it.
Thank you very much, my man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new face of the fight game, Patty the Batty. That was awesome. His refrigerator was awesome.
Oh my God, those donuts look unbelievable.
He's Hank Marvin.
That is literally. I don't know what that means. You see,
neither.
you see.
He dropped the Hank Marvin because he said he was Hank Marvin, Barney Rubble, trouble, Hank Marvin,
Starvin. Got it. Okay. Start putting it together.
Here we go.
That's the most relatable thing I've seen.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Because I gain like 30 pounds every off season. I mean, that was literally how I did. So, because I enjoyed eating. Now, granted, as I got older, I had to change that. I assume something will transition, but I love that dude. And he is electrifying.
Mm-hmm. That is interesting, him saying that he's too small for the next weight up, because he said his walk-around weight is like 177, so he's losing like 20 plus pounds every single fight camp. That's crazy.
Well, that's the thing that I think like us noobs and outsiders look at. Like a 10-pound advantage is...
Yeah, massive.
Massive, especially in the grappling game and everything like that. That's why whenever somebody was champion of both, I think Connor, that's why I think it was so well, received, because it's like, hey, this is very difficult to do this. Either the weight cut to get down to the lower weight and still have enough stamina and energy to do it, or to fight against the heavier guy. It's unbelievable. Hey, shout out to Patty. Shout out. All right, back to the NFL now. There is a Tyreek Hill update. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe it is official. Tyreek Hill is getting traded to the Miami Dolphins. The return is a first-round pick and more, while Hill will get a contract extension that puts him among the highest-paid wide receivers in the NFL. That's via Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero. The Dolphins are making plays. Just yesterday, I believe they spent 5 years, $75 million on Armstead, the tackle, to bring him down to Miami. They bring in, obviously, Mike McDaniel out of San Francisco to become their new head coach. Now they get the most explosive wide receiver in the league on a trade for a first-round pick and more, whatever that is. Full picks, 2022, 1, 2, 4, and then a fourth and a sixth in next year. That's a lot, by the way.
Jesus.
A 1, a 2, and a 4 this year, a 4 and a 6 next year. They get Tyreek Hill. Tua gets another weapon, and Mike McDaniel says, hey, we're bringing in Armstead. We're bringing in Tyreek Hill. We ain't fucking around anymore. Tua's our starter, okay? That's the first time we've ever said that publicly, and we're going to go ahead and win this thing. Gumpy, congrats to the Dolphins.
Hey, that a baby, go.
Hey, fins up, huh? Here we go. Fins are up right now. Real erect.
Now
Fins are
we
real
fucking
erect right
go.
now.
This is awesome. I never thought we'd get this from the Finns. This is great.
Why do you think this is happening, honestly? Do you think it's because of all the shit that was happening to old Cuzzy whenever he was allegedly paying people to lose, and now he's like, oh, we got to flip that script, and Mike McDaniel was like, yeah, I'll get out of the film room here for like 2 minutes. We can get Tyreek Hill. Let's get Tyreek Hill. Think about Mike McDaniel being presented with like the opportunity to potentially get Coach, we've heard Tyreek Hill's available. Who?
Right.
Coach Tyreek Hill. From the Chiefs? Yeah. Yeah, we would like him on our team. Yeah. What do they want? They want a 1, a 2, a 4, a 4, and a 6. Great.
Yeah.
Send that thing the fuck out of here. Mike McDaniel's brain is cooking right now. Oh, I can get Tyreek Hill to do. Remember, they had old Cuzzy go in motion on the Niners in the run game, left tackle.
Trent Williams.
Yeah. They had Trent Williams going in motion, all right, on a run. And they bring in Armstead, who's a monster, but also that pre-snap movement that the Niners do and that the Chiefs do. Now he has Tyreek Hill that he can just fucking move, and Waddle that he can move, and Armstead he can move. And I mean, it is just I am pumped to watch the Dolphins play football next year. I am pumped to see Mike McDaniel's press conferences before games and after games about why he did what he did. Tyreek Hill was tracked today to run 14 miles pre-snap. What are your thoughts? That's a lot of miles. But when he does that, nobody else can do that. So he's always open. I can't fucking wait to see what they do down there. Now, he's supposed to be a Colt, maybe a Packer.
Right, yeah. True.
I mean, there's a lot of places that really would have benefited from Tyreek Hill's services, but god damn, the Miami Dolphins all of a sudden.
Good for the Chiefs, too. I mean, that's a massive haul in return. It really is. Like, Tyreek Hill, obviously, is unbelievable, but 6 picks, like, even if a couple of them are 4 and 6, like, that does seem just crazy.
Is it 6 or 5? Did I do the math wrong?
No,
5.
it's 5. You're right. It's 5.
Okay, yeah, because you're much smarter than I am. So
The
literally,
first rounder is the 29th overall, so it's a late first rounder.
oh, so it's a second, a fourth, and a sixth. I'm on Gumpy's side here. Yeah. I understand that's a haul, but I am very much a fuck them picks guy. Because, I mean, they'll get somebody good, and obviously Andy Reid has a big brain, and Veach has a big brain, and they'll be able to figure it out. But I don't understand how this happened. Because allegedly, the Chiefs had made Tyreek Hill an offer to make him the highest paid wide receiver, and he said no. Right? Mm-hmm. And he said, nah, I don't want to do it, whatever. He wants to, it was like his decision not to re-sign there and basically move on. And they granted him a right to seek a trade. And then the Jets and Dolphins came in, and now he's a Dolphin. What the fuck happened, right? What did happen?
Was it
Devontae Adams?
It had to be Devontae, right? And there was like...
Yeah, but the Chiefs allegedly, now we don't know what's real and what is it. They allegedly made him an offer to make him the highest paid wide receiver.
Before the trade?
Yeah, I thought I saw a report today that as soon as the Devontae numbers came out, they then realized that they had to put him on the trade market. This was what someone tweeted. I can't remember who it was.
So they had basically a conversation about an extension before Devontae Adams was traded.
Yeah.
Then when Devontae Adams was traded, and it was like, what, 140?
Yeah, 42 and a half or something.
But what was it actually? Do we remember what it was actually?
What, 3? It's like 28 per, I think.
Yeah, 28 and a half.
3 years.
Yeah.
A lot of guaranteed money.
So then Tyreek Hill immediately goes, oh, that's fun. That is what we're looking for.
Right.
And then Chiefs go, well, we got to pay Patrick like $50 million next year because remember, we kicked the can down the road. We can't do that. And Tyreek Hill said, well, I'm going to need to get my money, right? I mean, you guys got me running marathons every single fucking game. At some point, I'm going to have to get paid. And they said, on the road, see you later.
Yeah.
And then Tyrann Mathieu put out a tweet, right? Didn't Tyrann Mathieu put out a tweet like after the trade was announced? He put out a tweet that said, when egos run wild, contain yours. Oh,
man.
Oh, it's heating up. It is heating up over there. Adam Schefter has now reported the Tyreek Hill numbers. Dolphins are giving wide receiver Tyreek Hill a 4-year, $120 million extension, including $72.2 million guaranteed per Drew Rosenhaus.
There we go.
Hey, congrats to Tyreek Hill. Congrats to the Dolphins. What are the Chiefs going to look like? I know they signed Juju for a 1-year, $10.75 million deal. They still got Travis Kelce. They still got McCole Hardman, right? They got Patrick Mahomes. They got that revamped offensive line. The Chiefs probably said, hey, we're going to be okay, but it's a much different game plan whenever you're planning for a team with Tyreek Hill and when you're planning for a team that doesn't have Tyreek Hill. And I think the Chiefs are going to learn that next year. I might be wrong. Chiefs will probably still be dominant and be able to do whatever they want to do, but God damn, what a game changer going to Miami.
Yeah, the Chiefs have MVS coming to town today, so that's probably the most likely.
So what does that mean?
I mean, just another.
No disrespect to MVS, but
Of
course
I
not.
don't think that's like it. Like it.
No.
But yeah, those tweets were kind of phrasing it like, oh, they're bringing in MVS, so like they don't need Tyreek Hill anymore. And like you said, like I think this team is much different if Tyreek Hill's not there.
Well, and no offense to MVS, right? This is just like when Odell Beckham Jr. got to LA and they're like, oh, Robert Woods got hurt. Odell Beckham Jr. will be able to go in there. It's like, well, two different positions, two very different. Tyreek Hill plays his own position.
Yeah.
His own position is called joystick Madden game, where you just run the guy around and he's faster than everybody. And then there's 3 people around him and he just somehow does a spin and wouldn't even be tackled in flag football somehow by NFL athletes. What a game changer. Mike, I want to see Mike McDaniel's brain right now.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Just on the dry erase board, just wow. We're going to call this play wild play. It's called wild play.
It's
Tyreek.
the Andy Gilfinakis thing.
Hey, nailed it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Milanakis.
No.
No, he's talking about Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Gilfinakis, yeah.
You're talking about Zach
Yeah.
Galifianakis.
Yeah.
At the
You're talking about the
blackjack
question
table.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever he was cooking
Oh yeah.
at the blackjack
Waddle
table.
set the record, right, for most catches by a rookie last year. Those two
Oh, yeah.
together. Plus, they have Devontae Parker and Gesicki, and they signed running backs Edmonds and Mostert. I mean, plus
How's the defense?
They got the guard from the Cowboys.
Still good.
Defense is great.
Xavier Howard on
And
one
Tua,
side.
I mean, me and Mike McDaniel were finishing each other's
Sandwiches.
not sandwiches,
sandwiches.
sentences. It was COVID still. Come on, I want to get that guy sick. He's got to build a fucking team. He's going to draft or trade for Tyreek Hill in a couple weeks. But I'll talk about Tua's accuracy. The amount of oh my God.
Yeah.
Gumpy, look at Gumpy right now. He's glowing.
Fucking grinning like the butcher's dog, dude. Let's fucking go.
He looks like Tom. He looks like Tomlin and Colbert watching Malik Willis hit that 68-yard ball across body off balance yesterday.
That was pretty.
Man, how much fun is it that your team's doing it? Huh? Honestly, how much fun is that?
All in. All in. Fuck it. All in. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not you?
Fuck it.
No excuses for Tua anymore.
No, this is it. This
Do
is
it
what I
time.
said. I said
First
get
of
him an
all-
O-line and weapons. We'll see who he is.
And real quick, Tua has been under the most mental siege I've ever seen a starting quarterback be under. Getting benched during 2-minute drills in games that he started. He started in an announcement that was made in the public in the incumbent starter, who's a guy who's beloved by everybody, openly said he was sad and not happy about it. That immediately splits a locker room. He's been put into an absolute dumpster fire numerous times. Now there's allegations coming out about how serious the dumpster fire was.
Yeah.
They said he wasn't hurt at all. Then he missed the game. Turned out he had fractured ribs. I mean, the things that Tua has been through off the field, just mentally, has had to have calloused him up. And I think if you watch when Tua's playing and he has time, he hits. I mean, he hits. A little bit undersized. He's not the only quarterback in the history of the NFL that's been undersized. Mike McDaniel is going to be drawing that thing up. Plus, with the run game that they had at San Fran and everywhere else that McDaniel, Atlanta, and what's going on, Dick?
Nothing.
You're shaking your head.
Well, no, it just came to my mind why this happened.
Why?
When Jackson put out that story that him and Juju were going to be doing TikToks together, Tyreek Hill said, "Get me the fuck out of here."
All right, let's get to a break. I was excited about it. I was excited about the Jackson Juju.
Yeah.
Still happening.
The collab, yeah.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Everyone's excited. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah,
10 million views.
Yeah. What if they throw someone throws an oop and then a hoop? So you throw oop, then hoop, and then somebody blocks it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Brittany
God.
Mahomes.
Now Brittany probably gets the rebound underneath.
Oh,
Yeah, hits the outlet.
Gets it again, and then she gets lifted up. And then she.
Yams. Yeah.
And then they get a bottle, and they find the poppers.
Yep.
And they just spray them
Everywhere.
Right in their eyeballs.
See, I'm excited about that, but I can see how Tyreek Hill maybe said, I can't, you're going to have to pay me more than Devontae's making if you're going to make me have to sit through that every single day.
Good for him. This is awesome. I mean, you're hoping like the Packers were in, but they were never going to be in this really. But this is awesome. Seeing these guys just to be like, fuck it, I want to leave.
Yeah, you know what? Nah, trade me, dude. I want to go to South Beach. Kansas City, the barbecue's great. People are fantastic. Hey, it's been fun to be a part of the hum of the Chiefs. But also South Beach, I've heard.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Pretty good time. People are miserable down there, though. In me and Foxy's experience.
Really?
They're miserable humans.
No sense.
People are fighting each other on the streets these days too.
Oh, losing teeth. Yeah, I heard about that. Show your face challenge going on down in Miami right now. Only saw one person participate in it, but that challenge will get going. Miami's insane right now. That's where everybody moved during the COVID thing. Now they've got a team maybe again. The Bills is very good at football.
Very good.
Very good at football. They're not stopping either. They brought in Von Miller. They're spending money. Are the Patriots dead?
Well, wouldn't be the first time they were declared dead, and wouldn't be the first time they weren't.
Valid. We're back in for some phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line, 1-833-4-McAfee. This NFL offseason has been absolutely fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, offseason. Thank you, players saying I won't play here anymore. And we'll be back in 4. Cheers. Change and make Tua better. Have you got into that? This is very early in the whole process, and you're shaking hands, kissing babies right now, and you're a 0-win head coach that everybody loves.
0 wins.
0 win. But what are you thinking about that for Tua? How do you make him better?
We're gonna start with scoring more points than the opponent.
Wow!
Holy shit! Oh no!
You are changing the game.
Changing the game.
Yeah.
Through math.
Yeah. That's right.
No, I think there's. I was just so fortunate in my career to be around the process of how I look at things with the empowerment of the right teachers that I look backwards, forwards, okay? What things do I see that are really awesome about his game on tape, even though we're at...
He's accurate as heck.
Boom! That's what I was just about to say.
Oh, I didn't know. I was just, you were leading me. That's how, you should do this, maybe.
Dude,
think about it in the future. But he's so accurate.
Or we should just spend the time finishing each other's...
sentences.
Okay.
Hey, have we known each other for...
our whole lives?
Oh my God.
You tell...
Me?
Wow.
This is weird.
Dude.
Whoa,
Seems like you guys just became.
Dude.
wow, this is fucking weird, AJ.
Bro.
Hey, this is...
Did we swap skins?
Wow, we learned a lot about yours, by the way. I mean, I have a surprise, obviously. That's what this show is all about. We have boots on the ground in Cleveland, who I assume knew this was going to happen all along. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Cleveland, Mr. Jason Glazer. Your thoughts on Kyle Pitts to Atlanta, fine sir? Oh, there's a delay.
Well, first and foremost, Pat, I'd like to say, hey, listen, thanks for having me. Cleveland is beautiful this time of year. Granted, it does smell like a mixture of poop and diarrhea and sewage.
Jesus.
It doesn't smell great down here.
Jesus.
But I'll tell you what, 27 years in this thing, I fucking live for the draft. Love being down here. Love being into Cleveland. But yeah, Kyle Pitts, listen. What do you want me to say? I knew this 2 weeks ago.
Really?
I mean, do we need to do this whole fucking song and dance?
Okay.
I'll give you guys 1 through 32 if you want to know. You know, do you want to have fun?
That's nice
You
of
want
you.
to not know who's going? But yeah, I had this 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm wondering is if the guy you had in your studio, Mad Mel Kiper. I know that sorry son of a bitch didn't have this 2 weeks ago.
Mike's not plugged in.
Whoa. Yes, I did. I actually just explained it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
No,
I
you
did.
didn't. No, you
Yes, I
didn't.
did.
No,
I
you
had
didn't.
this.
I did.
Yeah,
I
no,
did.
no, you
I
didn't.
did. You
I
didn't.
had this.
I
I
did.
had
You
it.
didn't.
Trust me. Can
You
I
didn't.
talk for Christ's sake?
Okay, fine, yeah.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
talk? Okay,
Go ahead.
yeah. Like I said, Kyle Pitts,
No, you
unbelievable
didn't.
talent.
No, you didn't. You didn't fucking have
Yes, I
it.
did.
You're a sad sack of shit,
Jason.
Piper. I know it. I looked at your mock draft.
Jason, please relax. Oh my God. Had no idea it was going to get like that. Sorry about that, Mad Mel. Obviously, there's a little bit of content there. He's saying you don't know your ass for a fucking hole in the ground, though, Mad Mel. How do you feel about that from Jason Glazer live in Cleveland?
Well, classic move. You know, Glazer looks like he's getting ready to go to a goddamn titty bar or something like that. I mean, dress up, pal. It's the NFL draft. Look at me. I'm dressed to the nines. You know, you look like an asshole. I mean, get him out of here, can we? I mean, is he going to stick around? Can we get him the hell out of here?
I think, is his microphone still on? Jay, can you hear us? Jay, is everything good back there?
Listen, fuck you guys. I'm out of here. I'm going over to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm going to hang out with Dee Snider and Twisted Sister.
Are you serious? Okay, Jason, sorry. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, Jason Glazer.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here. Hour one wrapping up here in the next few moments. Had Patty the Batty Pimlet on.
Yeah. Weapon.
Shout out to him, dude.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
He's got cheesecake, a couple cookies, some donuts, some milk chocolates over there.
Yeah.
Hey, Europe has different candies than us.
Yeah. That purple. It's like a purple pack or whatever it is.
How about that egg thing? That was
the golden egg.
And then was that caramel and peanut butter in that chocolate?
It looked like it.
You know, Cesaro, he gave me some chocolate. I forget what it was.
Toblerone.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, unbelievable. Swiss chocolate.
Those are good.
And there's no way he eats that with the way he looks, by the way.
Probably not.
They look like mountains, right?
Yeah,
Like triangles.
So good.
Yeah.
It was so. He went to Switzerland, came back, and I assume he just looked at me. Hey, Fat Pat, here we go.
Got this for you.
No, it was a gift. It was very nice of him. It tasted delicious, but I forgot that Europe has different candies than us. I wonder why that is. Why is that?
I don't know. Well, I mean, are there like Hershey stuff over there? Can you get a Hershey bar in England? I would assume you can, right?
I don't remember.
Maybe
I
not.
think they have, like, Hershey has their own, like, a completely different set of candy for England, I think.
I think they might have different taste buds than us when it comes to the sweets.
Yeah.
Because that
Tea.
Toblerone tasted different than like how a Reese's or some other thing would
True.
taste.
And tea stinks, and everyone drinks it over there.
Tea's really good.
I hate tea.
What's wrong with
Tea
tea?
sucks.
I agree. I don't like tea either.
Yeah.
What's your problem?
I don't know. I'm
Tea
just not a
blows.
huge fan. I couldn't imagine. Well, that's different though. We're not talking
I
about
literally
that
drink
kind of
tea
stuff.
every single day, don't I, Foxy?
Yeah, but that's
There's
cold.
there's no
Every day.
What are these uncultured
That's
swine?
like an
There's no
iced tea.
There's no
Okay.
tea bag in there.
Yeah, way different.
We're
They
talking
drink
about
warm
steeping
tea.
it with
Yeah.
tea bag.
The English tea is delicious.
Yeah,
No,
it is.
it's not.
No, thank you.
Warm
Have you
tea
ever
is
had-
pretty good.
Have you ever had a tea in England? I
gra-
have.
I haven't.
My grandma
I
had it
How
every
come,
day. I
then
loved
why
it.
don't you drink warm tea every day?
Because I'm not in fucking England.
Exactly, because it stinks, and I only drink it over there.
This is unbelievable what
It's
you're
like
talking
coffee.
about.
You just got to get used to it. Connor loves
No, coffee fucking stinks.
Also,
No, let's not
as well.
even.
That's the lifeblood of America.
I get it. People are, instead of doing any other
Coffee and tea.
upper, you drink coffee.
Yeah.
The
I get it.
most, those are the most drank beverages in the world, aside from water, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, I stand by the Boston Tea Party, and I will
Coffee,
never
tea,
drink
and water.
tea.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know. Depending on what country, maybe some beers.
What?
That too, yeah.
A
That too,
light
yeah.
beer, maybe some sort of.
That's true.
Hour one
Maybe some
wrapping up
vodka,
here.
yeah.
I can't believe Tyreek Hill is on the move. Russell Wilson is on the move. Devontae Adams is on the move. Deshaun Watson's been on the move. That's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Insane.
This offseason's been.
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan's on it. Holy shit, I forgot about him. He's our quarterback now. I haven't even thought about him on any other team. Actually, I've only seen him in Colts Blue.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's
right.
right.
Trubisky.
Doesn't even feel like a trade.
How about us getting into his press conference here? That was pretty
That
cool.
was very cool.
Shout out to Kyle Davis, athletic trainer for the Colts. He rehabbed me back from, I believe, all 4 surgeries.
I know. He helped me with my knee.
Yeah, he actually helped Connor with me on FaceTime.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, this guy's, hey, sorry to interrupt. I think it was middle of the season.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. It was like 7:30 at night maybe. They were about to probably hit another round of rehab on whoever was still left. Can you take a look at this stooge's knee real quick? And they're like, walk up those steps real quick. They had him walk up the steps FaceTime. They diagnosed him FaceTime-wise. That's how cool the people are over there. Ask a great question.
Yeah, they're incredible. Team sucks, but the athletic team.
Whoa.
Team's great. Going to win Super Bowl. Thought we were getting Tyreek Hill. Matt Ryan's a fucking guy. See you in 6 minutes. You all were the best. Bye. Right on the...
Yeah.
The radio show stinks, though. I mean, we did a Cribs edition with Patty the Batty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's their fault.
You did a good job. You said donuts, cheese.
No, we did a lot of, oh!
Yeah, but people are assuming, like, oh, he must have some great shit in his fridge.
I should have done at least a little. Patty's now showing us around his house, but then I know the clip is literally the only thing that really
Well, and his
does anything
voice,
for us.
that accent, you got it. I mean, anytime.
Need the captions, but that dude is awesome.
Yeah, incredible.
There's a couple questions I asked him where he gave me an answer, and I don't think I heard a lot of the words, but the way he said it, I was like, all right, I think I got what he was getting at.
Bevy. I love the Bevy line.
Oh, yeah, Bevy heavy. I tried to bring that one back a little bit. What was the Albert Marvin for Starvin? Hank Marvin.
Hank Marvin.
All right, let's talk about. No, we'll wait till AJ gets on. I had a night last night. AJ's going to want to.
Yeah. Excited to hear about this.
No. Let's wait. We call AJ now. He might be. Maybe he's at the Ohio State Pro Day.
He could.
Oh, he could be.
I assume he's
a lot of
taking
wideouts there. Maybe the Chiefs just jumped on a plane to get there in time. What would you say?
Olave.
Garrett Wilson's supposed to be the number one wideout.
Who's throwing? Isn't Haskins throwing?
Stroud and Cardell Jones.
Yeah.
Cardell Jones is throwing? Just as an extra arm?
I think so.
Maybe he's trying to get back in the league.
I love that move.
You think AJ's clocking the 40?
Are current quarterbacks in the NFL allowed to throw at college pro days?
So that was I was about to get into. That's quite a move. I forget who did it. Somebody went and threw at somebody's pro day that was like 2-3 years out of the NFL.
It's probably that move.
To get some more eyes on them. Like, hey, I've been working, I was in the XFL, the CFL, the UFL, the AAFL.
What?
I'm like Kurt Warner, though. You see that? He was playing in a fucking cornfield. I can sling the rock, dude. Just give me a pro day. Some of the smaller schools go to the bigger schools' pro days, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like when at our pro day at West Virginia, and a lot of people were there for Pat. So I was very thankful for Pat White being on the team because everybody was coming to look at him. A lot of questions on whether or not he could be a quarterback, wide receiver, but every team was representing. And there was a couple other schools, like smaller. I think even Marshall's guys came and worked out at our pro day. I thought that was very nice. I thought that was very, very nice of West Virginia to do that. And
For sure.
I was told it's kind of standard operating procedure. Oh, okay. The NFL actually asked him to do this. It wasn't the West Virginia.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
All right, I'll fuck right off.
It happened to Ali Marpet because he was at Hobart. So I think he went to Georgia's or he went to some school in the South.
If you're at one of those small schools, you got a chance. You're obviously scouting to see which team fucking matters. I guess Liberty's probably going to start becoming a place that hosts all these pro days now all of a sudden. That was wild yesterday. Every fucking team was there.
Nuts.
That's amazing. How awesome is that? Now, Hugh Freeze did something. He had some prostitutes or something like that.
Yeah.
He got caught up in that whole thing.
Yep.
What's the NIL deal say about that?
I think after a couple of years, you kind of just say, fuck it, you're good.
He'd have been
Another
fine,
shot.
but he was using the school phone for it.
Oh, yeah, he was charging university.
That was a problem.
He was charging a program.
If he would
For the
have
calls.
used a burner phone, he would have been fine. Which, life lesson, always have a burner phone.
Well, that's a lot harder, I think, than people. I've met a couple people that have two phones, and it's like, with the way modern fashion is, you have to have a fanny pack or you look like a jackass.
That's right.
I'm not saying on, you just have it in your go bag.
Oh, for whenever you're escaping or trying to get prostitutes to recruit
Yes.
your kids?
Right.
Prepaid
Or
phones
for
too.
yourself.
Grab one at CVS.
Hey, those are awesome. Sprint, right? Isn't that how?
Sprint.
No,
Oh,
Cricket.
yeah.
That's how Cricket
Cricket,
started.
Boost Mobile.
Virgin Mobile.
You should just see drug dealers going in and out of those
Oh,
places.
yeah.
All right, stop by Cricket. Let's go see who's moving the most amount of weight in town. Probably what the undercover cops are saying.
Yeah.
Hey, why's that guy walking down here with 7 phones? What's going on there? Who are you calling, dude?
Family plan.
That's awesome. And then he goes over to Saks. It's like,
What are you doing here?
do some things together.
Spending $40 on cell phones.
What the hell?
We had a guy at our high school who was, he didn't want to be the seller, he wanted to be the supplier.
Okay.
But he only had an apartment. You know, like most of the suppliers come big farmland, big areas.
Yeah.
This guy had an apartment in like, you know, a pretty highly populated area.
Sure.
And he was just growing, I guess. He just had an incredible grow show, dude. He had an incredible operation. He was really crushing it. Got caught, ended up in jail like 5-10 years. Yeah. He didn't want to get into the cricket. He didn't want to do the cricket. He didn't want to be on the streets. He said, no, I want to actually sell it to these people, actually.
Good product, though, I heard.
Oh, yeah, I heard it was great. I heard it was really good.
Whoa.
Hey, I heard he was really taking care of those seeds, I heard.
Who was it?
No. Mac.
Oh, that guy.
That guy, please. He had fire, dude. All right? You need to relax. That was back when it was impossible to find marijuana, too.
Mids?
Dude, he was growing it in an apartment, though. The wall might have been thinner than, like literally that glass right there.
Bookshelf.
And he just had the whole thing. I don't know if he had a false wall, too. Like, one of his rooms was only 3 feet wide.
Oh, no. Slide it over. Yeah.
He was moving though for like a good probably 6-7 months. He was living.
That's a good run.
He was king of Nitrous Rush, right? If I remember correctly.
Whoa!
Nick,
Whoa!
this is your guy?
We're not dry snitching around. What the fuck's the deal around here?
You want to give his address too, Tony?
Yeah, Jesus, Tony.
I thought you said that you weren't in that.
Well, we saw the car that was in it in the picture that was posted on March Madness the other day.
That's right.
Did you see that car coming out of the tunnel in March Madness? The games were in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and they got the shot coming out of the Fort Pitt, and they said, "Oh, the most beautiful view. Welcome to Pittsburgh." And the car next to it had a smiley face drawn on it with flames coming out of the mouth. And it had a lift kit on like a
So sick.
It had a tail, I think, on maybe a. I don't know if it was a Honda or
It looked like a Honda.
It was straight out of the fucking Nick Morado car club.
Yeah, it was
It was
awesome.
amazing. Was that your old car? Did you sell that to the person?
No. No, it wasn't.
Could have fooled me.
You find a lot of those little fart buckets on the tailpipe.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show, hour 2 on this. Oh my God, the NFL is alive. Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. Hour 2 begins right now. Can't thank you enough for joining us. The Talk to the Table is here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Tone Diggs, one half of the Hammer. Dahn Cowboys is here. The other half of the Hammer, Dahn Cowboys, is at Bubba Gumpino. Lifelong Dolphins fan. Has been mocked and ridiculed about his football fanhood his entire life. Grew up in North Left Canada. Became a diehard fan of the South Right team in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins. There hasn't been a lot of hope. Hasn't been a lot of promise. Dan Marino and that goddamn Dolphin snowflake really brought some hope, but never won a Super Bowl. There's been controversy. There's been drama. There's been accusations. There's been a lot of shit football, and there's been Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots for the last 20 fucking years in your division. Now, not only do they sign Armstead, the best left tackle in free agency, to a 5-year, $75 million deal, today they trade a first, a second, a fourth this year, a fourth, and a sixth next year to get Tyreek Hill, the most explosive wide receiver in the NFL, onto the squad. They pay him $120 million over the next 4 years or 5 years. 4 years. And now the Dolphins are all the way back in the conversation of, hey, let's go on a run here. Congrats, Bubba Gumpino and the Dolph fam.
All we wanted was hope. It's all we wanted. All we wanted all these years. Just fucking try.
And
try and make a good football team. Thank you.
And by the way, your loyalty was questioned whenever there was accusations that the owner was actually paying for losses.
That's right.
So all Gumpy's ever wanted, just try. Just give us some hope. And then they see years and years of like none of that. And then all of a sudden, the offseason, they're being told that maybe the owner's actually like, yeah, he's trying to actually take your hope from you. He's paying to do that. And you got to be like, oh, I fucking hate this team. And then Mike McDaniel comes. Armstead comes.
Right.
Now Tyreek Hill comes.
Right.
Miami is coming alive. You still got to stare down Buffalo 2 times a year. You still got Bill Belichick doing Bill Belichick shit 2 times a year. Bob Saleh and the boys were definitely in on Tyreek Hill. They did not win the bidding war with the Miami Dolphins. Good for the Chiefs, by the way, having 2 teams in the same division bargaining over one player. And also good for Tyreek Hill, who's probably negotiating that contract at the same time with 2 teams in the same division, you know, going after it. Good. Glory to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Joining us now is a Super Bowl champion, college football national champion, Ryder Cup champion, survivor of COVID, father of 10, Ohio State legend, the best jawline in all of sports, Aaron James Hawk. AJ, let's run through this real quick, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Russell Wilson traded to the Denver Broncos. Devontae Adams traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. Deshaun Watson traded to the Cleveland Browns. Matt Ryan traded to the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Tyreek Hill traded to the Miami Dolphins. This is fucking banana land. You hear? Hey, these are big name players just on the move. They got contracts left. They're saying, get me out of here. I want to go somewhere else. This has been an insane offseason, AJ Hawk.
It's been crazy. It's awesome. It's fun to be a part of it. It's fun to be here every day and get a chance to actually like try to analyze why it's happening. Also, what do people that are just casual fans that maybe don't watch a whole lot of off-season stuff, but they tune in and watch their favorite teams play during the regular season? I think there's a lot of people like that may be a bit surprised when they turn around and you look, hey, our best player isn't here anymore, or maybe, hey, we just picked up a guy that's a stud. I know from talking to people out like at kids' practices, they ask me about, oh, what do you think of Deshaun Watson or whatever? And then when you mention all the other stuff that's happened, they're like, wait, what? Wait, huh? Like they have no clue all the different things happening today is just another day of that.
Well, because people kind of live in their silos is what you're saying. I think they only pay attention to what is happening around them. The Russell Wilson domino to Denver, we thought that was... Holy shit. That happened on the same day where Aaron, by the way, decided to go back to the Green Bay Packers. We're like, wow, this is the biggest day of this offseason. Like, this is huge. Like, this is a big day. And then all of a sudden, boom, 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 $230 million guaranteed going to Cleveland. Who knows how that worked? Matt Ryan's now quarterback somewhere else. I mean, it's a nonstop. Devontae Adams says goodbye to the Packers. It's a nonstop. It's insane right now. And this is the, it's kind of been like this in the NBA, I think. And it was mentioned earlier by one of the boys when we were sitting around the kitchen chatting about all this. Do you remember when the NBA denied Chris Paul's trade request from like New Orleans to LA or whatever? They're like, nah, you can't do that.
I still don't know how that happens, but yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how can they deny it? They say like you're going to create a monopoly. Is that like they're trying to step in?
Yeah, but then it became like trade city teams, super team build thing.
Right. Does the commissioner have all that power to stop a trade?
Yeah, David Stern.
I guess at the time that's what we're saying about Goodell though. What if Goodell, after all this shit started happening, because the owners are going to be like, players are getting too much control. Yeah. Players are doing everything, which by the way, owners do not want ever. Owners do not want any of that ever. That's why the negotiation is always the way it is. That's why the way you hear some media people talk about players because they potentially have ins with the ownership and with the leagues. It's always a power struggle between, who's in charge of what. And those who have the money always hope to be in charge of what they're running, even though it takes the players to make your product worth a fuck at all. But they always said, don't want this to be like the NBA. Don't want players to be on the move. That's what it is about the NFL. You fall in love with the team and this and that whole thing. And those people are probably rolling over in their old ass beds with their depends on saying, God damn, the NFL is starting to become what everything else is becoming, which is if somebody isn't happy, they're going to make a change now. That's the world almost, I think, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, is this like college football at the same time with the transfer portal? Oh, a guy comes into town, he's there 6 months, he realizes I'm probably not going to start anytime soon. See you later. I'm going somewhere else. Are we looking at a similar thing?
So the interesting thing about the transfer portal, and we talked about this, I feel like responsibly, because I feel like people should talk about it responsibly, especially if there's maybe some college football players that are watching. There's like 2,000 people in the transfer portal. There's 130 schools. Okay, so some people, and I think the option just to pick up your shit and leave is not one that should be completely forgotten about. And I will say every single person that I graduated with at West Virginia at one point or another in the first 2 years of being there, if they had the ability to get up and fucking leave like that, we would have. I mean, there was numerous breakfasts that we were all eating at, like, fuck this shit. We ain't doing this. Let's get out of here. It's almost, and I feel like it's probably the same way for you too, right? I mean,
I know many guys that I played with that graduated and had great careers that at one point were thinking about leaving.
Yes, college football is difficult. It is very hard, especially when it becomes your entire life. At high school, you're a football player. Okay, you train, you have fun, you have your trainer, you have your leagues, you have your 7-on-7. And once you get to college, it's like you are now a college football player that has to appear at classes. You have workouts at this time, you have to do this at this time, you have practice this time, you have study sessions this time, and we're going to check at all these things to make sure you're there. You become like you're tracked your entire life.
You're programmed. They program you once you get on campus.
Exactly. You become a programmed individual where every moment of your life is basically tracked and understood. And it becomes very difficult, especially when the workouts are the hardest workouts you have ever fucking done in your life. Like, there's no reason my body should be able to do what we're doing. I guess this is a mental thing you're building up. There's a lot of moments of quit, is what I'm saying, in college football, I think. So the transfer portal being as easy as it is, I don't want to sound like an old person yelling at the clouds, But honestly, there's some moments you have to fucking get through, I think, in life. And the transfer portal might be too easy of an out for some people. And I think they're going to miss out on some life lessons and some things that could potentially change them forever in a good way. Now, not to get too grandstandy here, that kind of, we're seeing that with like Baker, right?
Yeah.
You can be who you can afford to be. You go in that transfer portal, you're a fucking guy, you're going to get signed. If you got to know who you are, though. Like Baker saying, I want to be traded. It's like, the internet is full of anonymous sources. A lot of anonymous sources are like, cool. Where? Yeah. Not coming, like, we're not interested.
You have to be absolutely 100% sure that you have other options. If you demand a trade or you want something like that, and yeah, there's other options. I just question is, what are people willing to give up to try to get you? And now, like, as every day goes, there's less and less opportunities of teams he can go to and be the starter.
Well, and that's the thing about the transfer portal, too. Like, I think you have to know who the fuck you are before you sign up to go in there.
Yeah. Hopefully, like, if you do go in the transfer portal, it's been something you've been thinking about for a while. You've talked over it with your coaches, your parents, whoever you trust, and you don't just all of a sudden one day just throw your name in there because you're mad.
I'll never forget. I was standing like this, just like this. I was standing just like this.
Because if you bend over and touch your knees, it's weak and you don't get enough air.
Oh, and you also get an extra sprint. Yeah. But believe me, that was an entire thing, too, one time between me and a GA, because I had my hands on my shirt, okay, like this here, give McAfee an extra one. And I, slow, excuse me, hands on knees, I'll give you another one. I'm like, they're clearly not, okay? Clearly not on my fucking knees. I'm right here. You see the shirt. It's tight. Give him another one for talking back. I'm like, well, you're a fucking GA, okay? So I don't know who the fuck you think you are. That almost became an entire thing. And me and Barwis, afterwards, we had a meeting of the minds. I was very passionate about that one, me getting fucked over. And, Barwis is one of the scariest humans of all time. So, McAfee, you got 4. I heard 4? You've never had 4 in your life. You got 4? I'm like, well, that's because fuck boy, and that's in front of the entire, so like Barwis has to, he has to stick up for his guy, and I'm kind of in front of, I was a little wild, I've always had a little bit.
I mean, he might have to take you aside and run you one-on-one after that.
Yeah, so that's what I had to come back later in the afternoon. Yeah. I had to come back later in the afternoon. But he was with me the entire, it was the stadium. Yeah, it was the stadium. But he was with me the entire time. Barwis was like, I understand what you were saying, but you can't fucking do that. You can't do it in front of everybody. You cannot fucking do that. So we're gonna go. God damn, this is middle of the season. Jesus. I'm the kicker and the punter and the kickoff guy, and my fucking mouth has got me running the goddamn stadium. It's like, this is not what I'm supposed to
be. You're messing up the culture, man. One guy can have a negative impact.
See, I disagree. That guy was fucking up the culture. And that's actually what I told Barros. I was like, Barros, I've been here for fucking 3 years. Am I not like, I'm the guy. I'm like, I'm a guy, right? People like me around here? Yeah, I'm like, you got me on the fucking wall, I think, for some records, right? That guy's fucking up. That little fucking power hungry. Yeah. He's like, you can't do that though. Like, there's freshmen here watching. There's new guys here. You can't be yelling at this guy in front of the entire team. I'm like, I'm sorry, but that was bullshit. I was tired and I did not want to run. But there's a lot of those moments, And now, like if these star players are all just going to be like, nah, I've decided I want to go elsewhere. Yeah. If the owners are not going to be happy about that. Just like the salary cap. How, Tom Pelissero got a memo through his thing to go on to Good Morning Football and say, please debunk the myth that the salary cap is a myth. Please, Tom Pelissero. So he went, and he sat down on Good Morning Football, and he did an entire, the fact that it is being stated that the salary cap is, he did a whole, a whole thing there. They're going to do the same thing, I assume, with this trade. Like, they're going to figure out the salary cap loopholes that some of these teams are getting by because other owners are going to get pissed off that their team isn't doing it or they don't want to do it. They don't want to pay for that. And then they're going to figure out this trade thing, too. I think that's just how the NFL has operated since the beginning of time. If they don't like something, they're going to fucking change it. That's just how they've been.
Yeah, I mean, that's I absolutely see where you're going, but there's only a few people in the NFL that can kind of have the power to do this, though. I mean, we've seen it. It's true superstars. Like, some middle-of-the-road guys can't do this.
Matt Ryan.
I mean, he was the MVP of the league at one point.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But would you have had Matt Ryan in that list of people, like, just a week ago? If I would have said to you, hey, AJ,
Pat.
What's up, dude? How you doing, man?
Great. What's your question?
Well, you don't even want to ask me how I'm doing? Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, how are you?
Bad conversation.
Jesus Go to Christ. hell.
I mean, I know you want to have a conversation. What are we doing? Is this a fucking interview or a convo, dude?
I don't know. What is it?
What is going on?
I don't
This
know.
guy?
I don't know what you're doing. I
they're
honestly have no
pulling
idea.
up
Is
the
this a bit?
Listen, this
Are you doing a bit?
conversation stinks. All right, you said hey, when I said hey AJ, and you did say hey
Are
AJ.
you doing a bit? Is this a bit?
I'm not doing it. What? Which part? Hold on, because there's something going on. Right? What the fuck
Someone's
is
gonna
going?
claw
There's a
finding out now.
Did you hear the hyenas cackling?
Oh yeah. There's
There-
rabid dogs running around in the hallway back there.
While you were giving an answer, you're gonna watch this back. We all want, like, I literally, what was? I heard an entire group of people laughing. I'm like, is somebody in the office? I think they're right behind that wall. Like, I believe the wall's. Man, that's crazy. Hope you guys have a good time. Hope you guys have a good time.
Keep it down.
Nah, do what you gotta do. I mean, it's just a shit show going on in here. But anyways, hey AJ.
Hey, Pat, how are you?
Hey, I'm pretty good, man. How are you doing, man? Life good or what?
Yeah, you had a question about Matt Ryan, I think.
See, why are you forcing it all the
Yeah,
time?
Jesus
now
Christ.
you're
Have
just-
a conversation, weirdo.
Fucking
Human
human.
everywhere.
Be a human, dude. All right. Anyways, do you think if you were asked a week and a half ago, or whenever the Russell Wilson trade happened, what was that, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
If you were asked 2 weeks ago, hey, AJ, there's going to be players over the next 2 weeks that are going to force their way out of the situation that they're in. How many players, because you just said you got to be a superstar to be able to, how many players do you think you could do that? I don't think I would have said more than like 4 people, 5 people. Now it feels like I don't want to say good players, but great. It feels like anybody can almost do it if they want, if they have any worth at all. Like if you're pretty good at football, if you were pretty good in the NFL, I think you're going to be able to do that. Not that has happened, and I'm not saying Matt Ryan pretty good or Tyreek Hill pretty good. I'm saying those two are great football players, but there's going to be a ripple effect to this entire thing as well, you know?
Yeah, there is. I guess it makes me curious as to who all can get away with. Like, who else can we see become unhappy and force their way out? I don't know. It's a tough
in
thing
between.
to do.
It's Baker,
Yeah,
and
there
then
it
it's
is.
all the way up to
It's not working for
Russell
him.
Wilson.
everybody- Russell Wilson.
But they were moving on from Baker already, though.
We didn't know that, right? Because at the time he requested his trade, they were out on Deshaun Watson. He was potentially going to be their starter. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like once they started that Deshaun, exploring that option, Baker was already in the tank and he was already done mentally.
Well, yeah, and Browns, remember, said, we do not care. Remember that? That's what the Browns said because they were out on the Deshaun Watson case. And then 13 hours later or something, $230 million guaranteed after Baker turned down a plane trip from the Haslam family to come talk to him in Texas. I mean, it's just, shout out to the boys, man. Where would you have wanted to go, AJ? Back to Cincinnati? You say, hey, trade me to Cincinnati. I want to go home?
No, I would probably just stayed with a team that had a really, really good quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, they kicked you out.
Yeah, I didn't force my way out. I didn't leave.
Hey, Tyreek Hill leaving is crazy, isn't it? Are the Chiefs in trouble?
Absolutely. And how fast did this happen? Okay, so we heard this morning that they granted his agent a request, like he can go search for a trade. Was this last night? Was this a day ago? When did it happen? Because then all of a sudden, bam, the deal is done.
Well, and also, as soon as it was reported that he was allowed to seek a trade, there was 2 teams already interested. Yeah. So this is kind of like, was it Tom Telesco or Brandon Beane that told us that there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that we don't know about? So is that because the insiders are told they can't leak that information, or is it because the insiders actually don't know that it's happening? And how much more shit is going on right now that we don't know about?
I mean, I think there's stuff that the insiders probably know there's like rumblings of. They've heard, okay, I hear the Chiefs are trying to lock Tyreek up in a long-term deal. I hear it's not going well. They're very far apart or whatever. Tyreek's upset at this. That a lot of times stuff comes from agents and different people in the front office. But yeah, with how quickly this happened, people had to know something was up.
Do you think Bauer was in on this conversation yesterday, or
he might have been?
Should have been.
Was it because he was on the show? He wasn't in the combo, or he would have been a great. Hey, Tyreek Hill, the Packers. Could you imagine?
Oh man.
Oh my goodness, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about the Colts this morning.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill to the Colts. Oh my God, that'd be awesome. He's uncoverable. Think about Mike McDaniel. They had Trent Brown.
Trent Williams.
Trent Brown back to the Patriots.
Yes.
They had Trent Williams pull during their last couple games. You remember that? One time they had the left tackle pull, kill a guy, bully a guy, they pick up the first down. Next time they fake it and they get a dive and they don't pick it up. But they still had the son of a bitch in motion. The amount of pre-snap motion that he'll be able to do with Tyreek Hill, because that's a big part of what the Chiefs do. Tyreek Hill is running. They track him every primetime game. They're like, look at how far he ran before this ball was even snapped. And there's somebody on defense who did not prepare enough in the offseason for what they were about to fucking do. They're trying to keep up with Tyreek, and then inevitably they get caught up in some crossfire some humans, or they just get fucking tired, which could happen when you're chasing an actual cheetah. And he's off and running. They got Waddle there. Hey, they just signed Armstead for fucking 5 years, $75 million. They're going all in, it sounds like, down there in Miami.
They absolutely are, and all this does, I mean, yes, it reinforces all these weapons for Tua, but it also puts a giant amount of pressure on him, even more than he already had. Because hey, if they're not good, if their offense doesn't produce, it's probably because of him.
That's what Ted Dick said, yeah.
But they also have Teddy Bridgewater now, so like if he does, it's not as if they don't have a plan B. Like they can definitely go with Teddy B and probably still be very good.
Teddy B making more money than Tua this year?
Maybe because what is
close,
it? It's
yeah.
up to $10 million.
Gumpy, what's going on? You're shaking your head. Is that a little negative
We
information?
don't need to do this.
No, I just didn't know.
We don't need to do this.
I was just wondering.
Tua's
Because
super accurate. It's good. It's good. He's good to go. Don't worry about it.
I agree. I like Tua. This is a pro Tua show.
Yes.
This has been the most pro Tua show, I think, out of all of the shows, because we have talked ad nauseum about how miserable his experience as a starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins has had to have been.
Oh, yes. Also, how does Brian Flores feel right now with Miami getting all of these weapons, doing all of this stuff after what happened to him, I guess, or his whole situation there?
Yeah, and I also brought that up in the first hour, not to bring up any more negativity with the Dolphins, because this is a glorious day, especially the signing of Armstead yesterday. But, the accusations of paying to lose there, and then the next offseason doing everything you can to make it look like you're not trying to overfix. No way.
No, of course not.
No, of course not.
We're going to debunk those
5 years,
rumors.
$75 million. Give this guy $120 million. Yeah, let's go all in. Who else can we sign that makes it look like we really want to win? I'm not saying he's doing that, but you could see how some people would say that's what's going on. What's up, Tom?
Teddy's making 6.5. Tua's making 8.2.
All right, Tua's a starter. Tua's a starter.
Baby too.
We got Gene Steratore joining us in about 7 minutes. I can't wait to talk to him, dude.
Oh, that dude's a star. He really is.
Absolute star. Remember the index card? I mean, he knew it too, by the way. Put it back in his pocket, big grin on his face. Is he the best ref of all time?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and he's was a great ref, and then he comes in and he's able to explain it, and he takes a stand. He's not scared. Some of those refs that get called up during games, they're kind of worried because all those other refs are their buddies, so they don't want to say they got it wrong. Steratore, I think he's a straight shooter.
So here's an interesting thing. There's some I'll watch some punters, and I don't want to judge. Like there's some punts that get on the internet that are not good punts, but people are hyping them up. And I'm like, well, it's not my job to say, like, hey, this person is not a. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Christ.
Someone getting their head put through the wall back there.
So we had a construction break with Sigs right out here, I guess.
No way. Where was I?
Back to working. Now they're back to working.
God damn it.
To respect.
Save me one, boys.
It's raining outside, so they have to smoke inside.
Well, you should. Do these guys have the biggest sledgehammers on earth, by the way?
Are they pulling up tile?
It sounds like they're going through tile right now.
Any musicians back there?
Oh, it's demo day.
What was I talking about? God damn, that was one of my feet shook. The whole chair shook right here. They might be blowing out this fucking wall. What was I talking about?
Steratore?
Yeah.
Oh, Gene Steratore. Yeah, so some punters will they'll put a video of a bad punt up on the internet. And I'm like, well, it's not my job to judge this. Like, I'm not going to say that wasn't a good punt because I didn't hit all perfect punts. I feel like Steratore is like the best ref. So when he comes out and he goes like, I probably would have done this. I think all the other refs are like, yeah, the Steratore standard, he probably would have fucking done that. If you're like the best of all and everybody kind of views it that way, I think you're much more comfortable to actually take a stand as opposed to some of these other refs that weren't good refs on the field. They get on, well, they were good refs.
Well, Dean, like Blandino, I think Dean is great on TV. Dean was never a ref on the field, though.
Yeah, he was just the head of officiating, which is fascinating.
That is really weird. How are you the head of officiating, but you've never done that?
Is he Blandino?
Yeah.
Came off of Jerry Jones's bus down here at the Combine.
There's a chance.
He's working. Hey, Blandino's shaking hands. But I think Blandino did a great job, and he does a great job on TV. But I think some of those refs that go up in there that have been on the field, I don't think they have enough confidence that they have not fucked up in the same fashion. So they're not going to bury the person. Like, hey, I've been in this position. I've messed it up. I don't remember Steratore being a part of a game where people were like, oh, Steratore's crew fucked it all up. I might be wrong. I assume it did happen. But he always had such smooth control, and his games were always just like so.
That's what we care about. We just want that, like the refs, like they should show that, hey, you're a professional and you are in charge of this game. The game is not Like, it's not crazy for you. It's not chaotic. You don't have to huddle up every 4 seconds and change a call. And I think Gene was a great field commander as a ref.
All right, so let's get to a break. We'll have Gene on back on the other side. We're obviously going to talk to him about March Madness because he was a college basketball ref who I think was a very good college basketball ref as well.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he's got to be the only guy who's been in like a Final Four and ref the Super Bowl. There's no way there's anyone else.
So greatest ref of all time joining us on the other side. We got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a lot of questions. I'm excited to chat with Gene, Western Pennsylvania Paisan. We'll talk to him in 4. We'll also answer some phone calls at the end of the hour. 1-833-4-McAfee on the 5 Hour Energy phone line. See you then.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that we have a special guest commentator for this match, Pat McAfee!
All right, you gotta be kidding me. Who okayed this? Wait a second, Corey. Weren't you saying Austin Theory can multitask? Let's see how he can multitask with Pat McAfee at ringside.
Nice to see McAfee dressed up for the occasion.
Looks good. Showed up good.
What guns? Those are like water guns, Saxton. Your grandmother's got bigger guns than this guy.
Come on, Pat.
It's an honor to be here watching Finn Balor do his thing. Hold on.
You already got yourself in trouble. Look at this clown. We're both going to be panhandling on the side of Golden Mile Highway if McAfee doesn't get his crap together.
He's not putting hands on Austin Theory. Let's make that absolutely clear.
Providing some encouragement for Finn Balor.
Accuracy. That's what Finn Balor. Spinebuster and the stomp. That's what I'm going to do.
You're going to do Finn Balor's moves?
Well, I'm going to try to do anybody's moves to beat the hell out of this guy.
Your professionalism has brought you, or lack thereof, has brought you a few issues. And if maybe you don't fix that, I don't want to play double duty again, man. That's exhausting.
Listen, Corey, you were great on both shows for sure, but I'm not one to get smacked in the mouth and take it like a little bitch. Okay? Austin's been trying me too much. I had to protect myself. And at WrestleMania, the world, including your ass, Corey, is going to see something beautiful.
Oh, you hear that, Corey?
Oh, okay. Look at this ball.
Where does he go? Come on.
McAfee is scouting.
Security!
Close.
Security!
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He's on my train.
That's Mr. McMahon's protege.
Oh.
Get him, Theory.
Oh, and Finn Balor taking advantage with a beautiful dropkick. Pat McAfee celebrating. Yeah!
This is great.
Let's go. Don't let this son of a bitch get a win.
Keep it together, McAfee. Think about Zeno. Think about Moraldo. What the hell are those guys going to do without you?
Yeah, they don't ever want me to look like a punk either, but you're right. It's a dream job.
Pat, Austin Theory just said, watch this. Getting ready to show off.
Pat?
It's not Pat's fault Austin Theory can't concentrate.
Pat's not even on this show.
Look at this, Corey.
Austin Theory ready to put this one away, but the distraction just enough for the cradle.
Shoulders down.
No win for the United States champion.
Here's your winner, the United States champion, Finn Balor.
Pat McAfee perhaps causing a little bit of mental turbulence.
I'm not calling it like it is, Saxton. It was a blatant distraction. This loss was McAfee's fault as much as it was Balor's.
McAfee never put his hands on Austin Theory.
Listen, it's all right. Theory's going to regain his composure, get it together. Mr. McMahon's watching. Theory will be ready at WrestleMania.
Well, there goes the momentum of Austin Theory. Another team looking for momentum heading into WrestleMania. The Street Profits with a serious edge.
Here we go. At the top of the class on the road. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command line. Yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know, on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand, yeah.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. AJ, what a wild day.
You think any more is going to happen?
Gene Steratore is about to say something's going to get somebody going.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
He'll be joining us here in a couple moments. They're digging for a new pipe right here. Right here. There's 3 guys in a hole right here. There's 3 guys in a hole right
Really,
here.
like right on the other side of the wall?
Yeah, right there. Right behind the gift that you sent, the painting of my mugshot and then my actual upper body and then a horse body. Right behind that, about 2 feet, there is 3 dudes knee deep into the ground, digging straight into right into the dirt. Yeah, right there.
Is that why Diggs left his seat?
What?
Huh?
Is Diggs not in his seat anymore? Or wait, you were showing.
AJ, welcome to the show. We've been doing this for 2 years. This is
My
unbelievable.
God.
I just want to let you know, this is unbelievable. It's okay. CT is real. A guy who stopped that in a very heavy fashion. The greatest referee in the history of officiating, Western Pennsylvania Paisano. CBS officiating analyst, ladies and gentlemen, Gene Steratore. How you doing, Gene?
Patty Mac, what's going on, my man? It's great to hear your voice again.
Hey, Gene, I fucking love you, dude. We all love you. AJ Hawk over there as well. We sang your praises right before you came on, and AJ talked about, I think we all did, you always seem to be incredibly cool on the field, very consistent. You always had your crew in control. It felt like you were a good communicator with the players. How come you're one of one in that? Why does every other ref suck, Gene? What is the deal?
I can say this to you, Pat. We always get better once we retire. You know what I mean? Because there's never any more misses after that. So I always love game day, right? I mean, as a kid, you know what it's like when you wake up and it's game day morning. And I think that's probably why I refereed, 80 basketball games in a full NFL schedule, because it was game day 5 days out of the week. And, everybody's in a great mood on game day, and it's that environment. And just everybody like hyped and ready to play. And it just put me in that moment and felt great. And let's face it, man, I got to do it for 40 years of my life. I got to play on fields and courts. It was, it's the best. And now I get the same kind of feeling in the studio with CBS. It's fantastic.
Well, let's talk about it, Gene. Did you always know you were going to be a ref? Because I think the issue now is there's not a lot of people that want to be refs, I don't think, anymore.
Right.
I don't think it's a desirable position. Did you always know you wanted to be a ref? And
you know what, Pat? Yeah, my dad refereed Division I football and basketball for 35 years. My late father. So we grew up in a house that, we went to games. I saw Franco Harris, Lydell Mitchell, Steve Smear, Mike Reed on the field at State College, as a little kid. And I was watching my dad, who was a hell of a back judge and a great player at Pitt. And so we grew up in a home that understood officiating from the time we were born. 7 kids, and everybody was a referee for trick or treat a couple times out of the year. You have to put the jersey on. It's a cheap way of getting a good jersey. But yeah, I think we kind of knew it. My older brother was a back judge for 20 plus years in the NFL, and it's in the family. Cousin Frankie's going to this, Sweet 16 in women's college basketball.
Hey, let's go,
Frankie! So yeah, it's in the blood. I got a younger son, my youngest Andrew, working small college hoops right now. So it's something that was like it was a fabric of our family, and we understood the value and magnitude of it, I think. You know what I mean? Like there's a piece of this third team that has to be able not to just get the plays right, but be able to massage that 5% where, okay, technically, is this a foul? Yeah. But does it fit? Is there an advantage, disadvantage? Is there a piece of that play where it's affected or not affected? And it's in that little nuanced place that I think that's what makes you a really good official and understanding at least when to play call and when not. And then it's the whole other piece, guys. It's the emotion, right? It's the stress. It's the emotion. It's the craziness that's out there, and just loving that interaction because great athletes are competing at the highest level. Coaches are amped up at the highest level, and feeling that calmness in that moment is addictive as hell. I mean, it's crazy addictive because that's what you that's what you do. It's what you live for. And I was bitten by it, and still am. You know what I mean? And with this position, there's still that unexpected. It's coming. You're watching 4 games at one time. Boom, you're in this game. You got 40 seconds. Scrub the play, rewind it, take a peek. and then hearing all the things that the great people at CBS do behind the curtain just to get you set, to cue you, producers, people in the truck, people in the studio, like the great guys you got there. You know what I mean? Like, it takes so many interactive parts to do this 5-second window, 12-second hit, and then bam, you're gone into another location. So this has been an amazing bridge to cross, and I'm grateful as hell to do it and loving every minute of it.
You're great at it.
Gene, are refs kind of like players, to where some players, like the great ones, they want the ball in their hands in the biggest moments when the game really matters? And I'm sure great refs probably, they don't shy away from, hey, if they're the back judge, they want to make that call one way or the other, or not make the call at the end of the game when it matters. Are some refs scared and don't want the ball coming their way? They don't want to have any impact?
Yeah, we're all different, and you're right, AJ. I think the best example I could give you, you get the new official on your crew, and he's on the line of scrimmage for a kickoff, right? And now they're going onside. Does that official want that onside kick going away from him, or does he want it coming at him? You know what I mean? Listen, in this business, you're either the hunted or you're the hunter, right? And you got to be the hunter. And in basketball, football, the two sports I worked, look, when you get to a certain level, and that level is when you are officiating people that do this for a living. So it's small college athletics. Those people, their lives are at stake. Their jobs are at stake. Their location, their family. You become a very integral part of people's success and their livelihood. So there's great pressure right then, and you have to instill that in to every official, regardless of their personality makeup. You have to embrace that element. But you're supposed to get your plays right if you're that primary official on the play. The nuance is, how good of a secondary official are you going to be, right? There's a guy that makes a play or misses a play as a primary official. They call a block in the back on a punt return. And the official that's covering the play, he thinks it's a block in the back. Okay, well, there's two other officials that are moving to that play as it gets to that point. And if they think that's a side block, does that official that's a secondary by his position not going to get any crap for it if he doesn't put his kind of hand into play? Does that official come in and grab that official real quick and say, listen, look at me. Let's talk about this for a minute. Rewind that play again. So I look at officials like, look, when you're primary, you don't get patted on the back for getting your plays right. That's why you're there. But how good of a secondary official are you, right? Like, are you willing to do that? And I think the same applies. Look, it applied for me when I played. That's how I think you value, good athletes. And this is, look, most athletic shit I ever did in my life was when I was reffing. You know what I mean? Keeping your body up to a standard to deal with world-class athletes on a night-in, night-out basis while Father Time was winning. You know what I mean? Father Time's undefeated, man. He's winning. And when you're waking up at 50 years young and for the next 4 nights you're on a major college basketball court, you get a day break, and then you're on an NFL field, you got to keep your physical body up. You got to eat right. You got to sleep right. You got to study. You got to read plays. You got to watch trends, tendencies. It's the same thing that athletes do in that same capacity.
Gene, there is no way there's anybody else doing all that. You got to be the only person doing. Honestly, it's a problem. Hey, this is an epidemic right now. Like, I understand we just went through an entire actual pandemic and everything like that. But if you talk to any fans in any league, Gene, any league, you go European soccer. I guess the NHL. They kind of have like a little bit more give and take between the ref and the players. I think there's actual shit talk. There's like a game flow part of it where it's like, hey, we got to make up for a call that we fucked up earlier. Like, I think that's more expected in hockey than anything else. But if you ask like NBA fans, NFL fans, college football, college basketball, it's like the reffing, the officiating is a problem. Do you think like you need to put together a Sterator standard, like a school? Or do you think there's guys that we don't like, or you think there's like another class that's going to come in and be a great batch of referees?
I think the scrutiny of officiating is exponentially grown with the growth of social media, with the instantaneous breakdown of everything, right? I mean, the whole world's that way. We're all looking for that quick one-line hit or that thumb up like or whatever it is. So, look, that's happening. So that's reality. You got to face that. Officials now, they're getting more training. The ability to get video instantaneously and the way the supervisors interact with them. All of that's at a high level. That's a portion of the game. It's the management and how.
Yeah, you said the
handle what you
5%,
said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this is. Look, if we called a foul in every football game where it was technically a foul, we'd screw this up so bad. You think we're hated now. So there's that window, right? And it's the same as we're watching in hoops right now, right? 1 minute it's too physical. Now they're calling small change fouls on the other end. There's a blending of this, and then there's a human element. So listen, the generation that's here now, that's the other thing. We all got used to, when I first came in, it wasn't like everybody was open arms. They wanted to know where Jerry Markwright went. You know what I mean? They wanted to know where that previous generation was. You grew up with these officials as coaches in college and more as players in the NFL, because in college sports, they're here for 2 years, they're gone. Coaches stay. Those relationships stay. And now all of a sudden, there's like a new generation. I've told a lot of veteran coaches in college basketball, they're like, Gene, this is not the same. And I'm like, congratulations, your career has been so long, you've outlived another generation of officials. So you got to get used to that. So there's a piece of that in there. But with that said, because the scrutiny's up, the TV cameras are amazing, the angles, the HD, the micromanaging every play is the difference. These guys and gals are under so much more pressure, I think, than I was when we started. And it grew really through my 20 plus years. I think it started to grow into more of that, right? So there's a give and take, but look, you got to work to get better all the time. And because they're younger, a lot of them, they haven't maybe had that experience in the reps. I hear all the time, put younger people on the field, guys that could run, better athletes. You get all that stuff. Like, why are these old guys out there? In this business, you got to work 5 or 6 years of college athletics. You got to work another 5 or 6 years of small college athletics to be able to possibly be able to get to major college to manage this. Then you've got to live 5 or 6 years in that level, right? You got to figure out, do you have enough stones to throw a flag in a big house in front of 100,000? That's a different element. There's a human piece of that. And then once you hopefully navigate that successfully, listen, I was in the Big East when Michael Vick was doing magic at Virginia Tech, right? And Miami was resurging again through Butch Davis. And I think Shockey, Bubba Franks, Kellen Winslow is being recruited just at the tight end position at Miami. I worked their fall game, looked at my crew in August when they just played each other, and turned and looked at my guys before the season started. I said, we just worked the best football game in America. They were playing each other. There were 25 guys that went to the NFL in that team. But even with that foundation, which was 15 years of working 100 basketball games a year, the moment I stepped from college football to the National Football League, it was a different sport. You know what I mean? Like, these are now guys that have honed this craft every single day of their life. And when Randy Moss would get to the top of his route and have his hand right at his waist just to separate, just at the break, just enough to gain a fraction of a separation, which wasn't enough for a foul, but you knew he kind of pushed off, but he cheated well. You know what I'm saying? Like, and bam, the ball was there. In that business, it's like, move on, let's go. And that's the growth. So you look at it in real terms in chronological years, you start reffing at 25 years young and 15 years of just building it. You're 40 and you're a young guy in the NFL, right? I mean, and now at 50, 52, you've got 10 years under your belt. That next 5-10 years of your life, if you've kept yourself physically great, if you've done all of that, now you're going to do your best body of work. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the progression. And I get it, because every once in a while, it's like anything else. You see one or two bad apple kind of feels, and the whole thing goes down. And let's face it, fellas, refs don't get any wins.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not fist bumping in the locker room. Yo, we got a W. How many times I listen to post games and a coach is standing there. He looks like he probably hasn't slept, right, for 4 weeks, because they're on a 3-game skid. And the first thing he says at the podium is, if we could get a win, everything's going to change. Like, the whole thing's going to change. And I'm sitting here at home eating popcorn going, I haven't gotten a win in 35 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're on a 20-day skid, and I'm looking at you like, the last time I got a W, I was 20. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a mentality of that. You got to be able to endure that. That's not easy. It takes a certain being to handle this stuff.
Gene, do you think there should be press conferences for refs after games? I think that would help out refs, don't you think? Because they could explain the decision and why they made it, and also fans get a chance to actually hear the questions be asked to the refs that, you know, because now with gambling, I mean, there's always been gambling, obviously, and you know, it's been a part of it. But now that it's growing, I mean, there's billions and billions of dollars on these games from fans. Now, fans have always been very passionate, very loyal, but now there's so much money on the line. Do you think press conferences would help, or you think that would potentially kill confidence of those guys that you're talking about that maybe haven't had as much time?
That's a good question. The tough part about having a post-game pool, right, is you're going to look at me on a judgment call. You're going to talk to me about, you know, Steratore said on the broadcast he thought that was enough for pass interference, and you're playing in that again in that judgment line. Now we're going to sit in a pool spray and let people shoot at you from random areas on judgmental plays. That's not fair, right? We can't go there, right? You just can't go there. There's too many judgments made where scenarios came. Misenforcement of penalties, complete egregiously mistaken application of rules. Things like that. You know, we had pool reporters in the NFL. That's how they handled that. You knew if you walked off the field and someone grabbed you with that white shirt on and said, "Yo, we got a pool reporter today," it was like, we got something big, right? You know what I mean? So, but again, in that fraternity, this is the best kept secret in athletics, and rightly so. Like, officials dig the fact that they're not front page. You know, they did a great job. It's the way we're made up. We're not looking for pats on the back. And realize as we go into this
Correnti.
You know what I'm saying? You got to leave Tony Correnti alone. He just would leave his mic on every once in a while. You know, he was human, and I loved him for that. You know, but he was a Pazon mentor. I can't pass on him, and I got to go a little Yinzer, Patty, for a minute. I told the boys I was down on the south side last night. I said, Patty Mac's going to have me on.
Oh, here we go.
Everybody was shouting and screaming, "Yo, Yinz," he said this quote, "Tell them Yinzer killing it. Patty Mac is the GOAT." And they all started cheering. They were buying rounds all up and down the south side, crossed the river into the Strip District. It was crazy last night. You are on fire, my friend.
Gene, we love you.
I'm honest with you. You're on fire.
No, you're on fire, Gene.
Great.
Let's
I'm
go.
serious, man.
Hey, you're the best, Gene. Please tell everybody I said hello, and I would like to buy a shot for all of them as well. All the way down. I've done it before. I'll do it again. AJ,
you mean from 18th and Carson all the way down to the point. I'm proud of you, brother. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Gene. I appreciate you, man. Last question here from AJ. Please tell everybody I say hello. And we fucking love you, Gene. Go ahead, AJ.
Gene, what's it like when you work in college basketball games? I know any game I've been to, I watch both coaches just berate the refs the whole game. The only time they stop usually is when they talk to their team during timeouts. Like, I feel like they're working you guys all night long. Is that always the case?
Yeah, it's constant, AJ. And it's a beautiful thing, man. My psychologist is going to love it forever. Like, at the end of each session, she's like, "Gene, we don't have to revisit that again. But if you want to, we can," because I loved it. But yeah, AJ, you're so right. It's like it's nonstop. And part of it, I think, is in their mind. They think that working that and constantly questioning is somehow going to gain some advantage on a 50-50 play. I would love to tell them, because of the millions of people watching right now, because of the success of the show, they're wrong.
Okay,
for the
smart.
most part, that isn't working.
Smart.
You know what I mean? But it's part of the nuance of that business. And, I always allowed it. I didn't like the optics, though, AJ. You know what I'm saying? Like the jacket stuff off, the hands up, the pointing. Put your hands down. Say what you need to say to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can
When do you tee them up, though? When do you know when they cross the line?
When I think it's not good for the game. That was my line. And the reason why I say it that way, AJ, is everyone involved in an athletic event has to be held accountable to something at the end of the day. We have to live in that pyramid structure, and at the top of that pyramid is the game, right? Coaches have their posse. They got their team. They got their pride, their teams. We were going out to kick someone's ass, and whatever the team needs, we're going to do that. That's their thing. That's cool. At the end of the day, though, they're held accountable to the game. Same with the players and their actions. And the officials, and a very big part of what officials should be doing is understanding that there is a line at some point. Look, you're not going to like me today. I get it, and I'm cool with it. But you have to respect me enough that as I navigate this craziness and sometimes your adolescent behavior, if I put my hand over my mouth and I start talking to you on the sideline for a minute, what's coming out behind my mouth is, right now what you're doing, it's not good for the game. And we're held accountable to that. And if you now continue to cross it, I'm not really whacking you. You're whacking yourself. It's suicide. It is a murder. But I'm coming. You're getting it. You know what I'm saying? And it is within that bantering. And I got to be frank with you. Like, that's what I dug more than the game itself. That's what I remember more than the games. I remember those interactions of being able to stay in that moment with this craziness around and still be able to hold a level of a baseline that was like, look, I'm good with whatever you're doing. I know I got family and you like to swear about them, but keep your hands down. Don't let the crowd, don't let these people that love this game, this youth, the downs, the people below this that are striving to be you, that optic can't work here. That's not good for the game. It's off. I'm giving you one. If you continue to come back at me, I'm whacking you to set you back down. And then if you do it again, I'm dismissing you, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. My dad always said, look, when you're a ref, you carry a bazooka on your belt. When people are shooting BBs at you, you don't pull a bazooka out. But when it comes time to pull it, you don't just show it. You throw it. You know what I mean? So in that world is that. And I think the crossover, honestly, between what we could say on a football field, right, with you guys that nobody saw, we could navigate all this and have a lot of fun out there, talk a lot of shit. And if it got too quiet after 2 or 3 plays, I would stand between both teams and go, oh, it's too quiet. Let's go. Pick it back up. Nobody's talking about shit. And a couple guys would look like, Gene, you're crazy. But I knew at that point then, they were engaging and embracing the fact that they felt like I understood the energy out there, so that when they did now stand over somebody and I started to yell, it was like a reaction, like, I got you, man, because you've allowed this and that, right? And in basketball, the proximity is so close. We're all great lip readers. Cameras love to go to coaches right after a controversial play. It's good TV. So you got to be able to navigate that in a fire shoot, like in a tight window. And for me to cross over from one to the other, I blended all that management with it. And that was the juice. Like, that's the juice. That's why you stay, man. You know,
were you supposed to be like a politician, you think? Because I honestly, AJ, hey, everybody in Green Bay loved you. AJ said to me, everybody in Indianapolis loved you. I remember when you came to training camp, the way that you were being introduced to the young guys and the young coaches, like, hey, this is the best ref we got. Like, Gene Steratore is the best ref that the league's got. Do you think, like, you just were, because kind of like Tom Brady retired and then he came back, like, you ever think about it? You were made to ref, it feels like. And if not, you're supposed to be a politician because you can settle things so quickly in live action. Will you ever get back in there? Will you ever get back in there?
No politician. In this day and age, we're not talking that, but nobody can. Politics, we can't fix like this nowhere.
True that, but you can talk to anybody. You can handle situations. You're calm. You're cool at the highest stakes. You're so dedicated and bought in. Will you ever get back into reffing, you think, or the TV is everything?
I love what I'm doing right now. I'm not going anywhere. What I'm doing right now is my platform, through the grateful and graciousness of CBS,
yes,
is allowing me to do just what we're doing right now, right? So this platform, I think I can help officiating in a better way than boots on the ground with a closed-in fraternity. And that was a part of the decision-making process, Pat, when I left, because I left at 55, and I'm telling you, that's like when you got your 5 best years ahead of you, if you can keep strong. You know, my back is not good. I got some herniations and some fusions from playing and being out there all those years. So, you know, I'm challenged a bit physically. But I do believe that what CBS has allowed me to do with both of the sports that I love and the SEC, and I kind of went back and fell in love with college football again, because when I was in the moment reffing, I didn't have time. We were doing pre-games on Saturdays, so you couldn't watch college football. So now been back into that, and what they've allowed me to do is be engaged in three of the most unbelievable sporting things that we have on the planet, and I've got more time. So it is getting out there and talking to young officials. It is trying to recruit. Look, we're as an epidemic. There's no one wants to ref. okay? Because they're watching all this. They're seeing all this. I mean, who's sitting at home thinking, yo, I want to do that? Be abused completely. So the recruiting of officials right now is skewed toward the negative so much that we've got to lift that back up. And we have to do that because these games can't get played without good officiating. There's a third team, and it's cool to hate them. It's all right. It's good. It's good for the game. But we got to have them. So I really feel like, again, through what I'm doing now, which I love to death, it is kind of like reffing. I won't lie to you. Like, dude, I'd love for you to come up to the studio and watch, 10 screens flying at once in the 1 o'clock window and 5 NFL games. And bam, there's a review over here, so I'm still gaining all of that, which I'm grateful for. I get to rewind too, which is really cool. I get to look at it again. I get to circle back, which I never got to do in real life, right on the field. So, but for me right now, which is also what's real cool about ref, it's great what you do personally, right? You always celebrate your personal accomplishments with the people that are around you that sacrificed part of their life to allow you to have that. That's personal. But now what do you do with your success? What do you do with the platform you get out of the hard work you personally celebrated? Now it's time to give back, and great officials always are giving back, right? Like, look, when you guys played with great players that knew they were in the last year or two of their contract, and somebody got drafted in your second to last year maybe that was replacing you, right? Did you just ignore him? Did you not share those secrets with him? You know what I mean? Or like AJ, you were out there for a decade, right? Or over a decade. And these young linebackers are coming in and they're looking at you. You know that some of the tricks of the trade right now, right? So you give back to that fraternity if you love it, right? And if you do the right thing. That's what refs do. That's what this is about. And again, it's cool that nobody really knows it because that's what you pride yourself in, is, not being recognized and accepting that,
Gene, you need to be recognized. And by the way, we will do our part to help you. We won't bury refs as much.
No.
We'll talk about how hard of a job it is because we do need it. And I think the reason why we talk about it so much is because as players, and I got to watch a lot of great games and, interact with refs, right? Punter, kicker always interacts with the refs basically every single time you go in there. And I'm a chatty person, obviously. So I think like watching and knowing the importance of a great ref versus a bad ref and how much a game can change. I mean, one pass interference call, Gene. I mean, that is an entire game change on its head. If it's a battle, it's like, we need good refs, and you were the best of all time. We can't thank you enough for joining us. Enjoy the rest of March Madness. You're crushing it, pal.
Thanks, guys. It's great. Shout out to you, man. Everybody downtown. I love you and the Berg, Patty.
Hey, I love you, and I love the Berg as well. Ladies and gentlemen, CBS officiating analyst Gene Steratore. Hey, that was awesome.
What a weapon.
He was so good at reffing. Like as I was listening to him, like his passion of officiating, and his dad and his cousin Frankie, and his youngest son's getting into the game.
His brother's a back judge too, I think, right now.
20 years, he said. 20 years. His brother's been a good back judge, 15, 20 years or whatever. So it's like that type of passion. I should have assumed I was coming from Gene, but I never expected from any refs that we see. It feels like these refs, it's always a side job. They have zero emotions. They go on, they do it, they leave. They get kind of run out the stadium through a vom.
Oh, yeah.
Through a vomitorium,
Yep.
and then they just kind of get in the car and they're gone. And we don't see from them, and then they're buried all over the internet, all over the news. Then the next week comes, they have a different game. And it's like, whenever you hear Gene talk about it and the way you saw him do games and the index card thing that he did and the way he was, whenever he was speaking to the camera, because he is representing the NFL at that point, the game, like he said. He's representing the game whenever he's speaking, why they called what they called. He always just had everything so cool. What a fucking legend that guy is. Sorry we didn't get to your question. Hopefully we have Gene back on. We have about 3 minutes until hour 3 starts. In hour 3, we've got Kirk Cousins.
Ooh. Here we go.
All right. Nice. So everybody take a break. Be a friend, tell a friend. Thank you to Gene Steratore. So let's be nice to the refs.
Yeah.
With that being said, let's get the passion that Gene had, too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
One. Up the quality.
He's so good.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
All right. We're back in 2.5, 3 minutes with Kirk Cousins. You all are the best. Cheers.
Offer you something. Okay.
Do I need like a pen or something?
You probably need a chair.
Yeah.
So, and that's where you normally are. It's like, and I know you love what we do, and you're a part of the team, big time. And people in the organization really enjoy it, and fans all over the world really enjoy you being you. you know. And you can't find anyone. I can't imagine back in the day Bob Costas standing up on a desk and dancing. Okay, but you're you know, and that's why it works, you know. And so with that, it's like I'd like to offer you an opportunity to actually wrestle at WrestleMania.
It'd be a dream, boss.
In the ring. Now it would be the difference though when you played for the Colts. It'd be the difference of like, okay, you're the punter.
Okay.
But now, in the ring, you're going to be a linebacker.
24 tackles in the NFL. No big deal. That would be a fucking dream, obviously. And by the way, there's been a lot of chatter on the internet about me getting back into the ring and wrestling at WrestleMania. And I've had so many torn, conflicted feelings because, you know, I'm out of shape. I ain't out of shape. There's a lot of vitamins that go into these lungs, Vince, and like the things coming up. But WrestleMania is something I've obviously stolen from you. By the way, back in the day, we'd go to whoever had the black box would steal WrestleMania. So I'm sorry about that. I probably owe you like $7, $8.99 or so like that for that whole thing. But obviously, it is the standard at WrestleMania. I would love to. That'd be an absolute honor.
See you in the ring. We'll find some worthy opponent for you. Put you in the ring.
Wow.
Awesome.
Holy shit. Hey, huh? Did you see the ring when you walked by the way?
I did. I was impressed. You have your own ring.
Yeah, I got
it looks like a standard WWE ring.
Well, listen, I don't know if that's how hard your rings are, but goddamn, that thing hurts. That thing hurts like hell. This is incredible, by the way. Awesome. Is this a real deal? I mean, are we really?
Yep. No, I don't bullshit. I don't do that.
Let's go.
Here we go. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to that show. Hour 3 on this Wow, the NFL is all the way alive. Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022 shall begin right now. Yeah. To my left, your right is the living legend, A.J. Hawk.
Yeah.
Great to see you, bub.
Good to see you. What time is Kirk?
I believe he's in a couple minutes. I mean, you do this all the time. Whenever he gets, you just have a conversation. This is just like the "Hey AJ, how you doing?" earlier, and he's like,
"Well, because a lot of times I don't know when they're coming, and I'll be in the middle of saying something, and your eyes will light up, and then all of a sudden you'll go to a guest. So I just like to have an idea of when they're coming."
Well, so a couple minutes, I believe it's supposed to be. We'll talk to Kirk Cousins, the man who just restructured his contract for an extension with the Minnesota Vikings to be their trigger man. They have Adam Thielen still. How you doing? Keep it moving. Mm-hmm. That team cooking. Dalvin Cook in the back as well. I'm excited to see what the Minnesota Vikings do. Now, granted, Aaron Rodgers comes back to the pack, which isn't great for the NFC North, but I don't think the Vikings give a single damn. New GM, new head coach, same quarterback, a lot of the roster back. They're looking to go on a run. Can't wait to chat with him. Let's talk about the NFL news that happened today, though. Tyreek Hill traded from the Kansas City Chiefs to the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, that sentence right there. A lot of it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
The first person, the word traded, and then the last word, the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. Nobody would have expected the Dolphins to be this active, but Mike McDaniel's gone down there. His brain has exploded with how much weaponry he now has. Yeah. New tackle, Tyreek Hill. We didn't know he was on the trade block until today. Now we know he's a Miami Dolphin. Just signed a new 4-year, $120 million deal with the Dolphins. The most explosive wide receiver in the NFL is now a Miami fucking Dolphin. Guppy, has this settled in yet?
Grinning like the butcher's dog, probably will be all day. The fact that it wasn't talked about at all, and then all of a sudden this morning it was like smack you in the face, Dolphins are a possibility. I mean, I'm over the moon. We got a shot at something.
Yeah, something.
Something.
Oh, yeah.
Playoffs.
Last year, I was attacked by the Dolphin, the Fins Up community, because the odds on FanDuel was for them to finish in second in the AFC East and the Patriots to finish in third and then the Jets to be in fourth with the Bills at first. And I didn't look at the odds before it came up on the screen live. And I actually said, oh shit, the Dolphins have better odds than the Patriots? Like what happened? I just accidentally questioned it, okay? I was then ran through Dolphins Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
They ran through it. And actually so much so that I actually was like, all right, I got respect for these motherfuckers. I mean, this is a passionate, loyal, very loud bunch. And they are going to bat hard for their team. Now, I was right. Obviously,
Sure.
I ended up being right in the end. But this team and this fan base have been waiting for something like this. I mean, this is something you've been waiting for almost your whole life at this point.
Since Marino retired, this is it.
Good for them. Hey, AJ, you got to be pumped for those people down there in Miami that have been cheering on this Dolphins family for a long time and attacking people like me for ever saying something that ended up being true anyways. But now, it's like a whole different story.
Well, now they have hope. And if they can come out this year and have a good year and Tua looks good and it looks like everything's going well, just more and more free agents are going to want to come to Miami. I mean, professional athletes, shocking news. They would love to live and play in Miami if they're good.
Yeah, shocking. Some people spend their off seasons in Miami who don't play for the Miami Dolphins. Was never my scene because my skin too pale.
Sure.
So that wasn't a place I could hang out. I had to vacation in Pittsburgh and other places,
Right.
Buffalo, Canada, and New York and stuff like that because I would just get cooked down there. But a lot of people did. Who knows how that'll pan out? Let's transition to the NFC North, shall we? A quarterback that just signed a restructured extension to remain the trigger man of a team that has a new general manager, a new head coach, but a roster that is ready to rock. Ladies and gentlemen, if he dies, he dies. Michigan State legend, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah! I don't know if I ever got to congratulate you. Thank you for that T-shirt you made that made me look like Ivan Drago. I thought that was tremendous, and my offensive lineman thought it was even better.
Well, we raised a bunch of money, I think, for the foundation as well with that shirt. I mean, thanks for letting us be a part of it, dude.
I love it. It was a win-win.
Speaking of win-win, you get restructure. You're there for at least 2 more years. By the way, your business is fucking awesome. The way you do business, I want to let you know I have utmost respect for it. I think every former player does. Everybody does. Nothing but respect. Don't want to dive into that. But with a new GM, new head coach, was there ever a thought, especially with how much movement's happening with quarterbacks and other positions, did you think you were going to end up elsewhere? Or did you know, was there ever a conversation about you potentially drifting in? Because I had you as a Colt for like 3 days and I was pumped. I was so pumped about it. I'm like, yeah, he's coming to Indianapolis. Was that ever something that crossed your mind with the nature of the way the NFL is right now?
Good point about how much quarterback movement there's been, not only this year, but it seems like the last 2 or 3 off seasons has been more than normal. People are really putting a priority on the quarterback position, and if they don't feel they have one, they're going out of their way to get one. But no, it never really got to a place of, will we leave? I think it was more of just how are we going to stay? What's that going to look like? But the plan was always to stay, I think, on both sides. And I played in Washington. I really wanted to be a 1-team quarterback for my whole career. And going to Minnesota, I'd really like to just be a 2-team quarterback. Now, I'm not really trying to be a 3-team quarterback. So you get the 3-team, 4-team quarterback status. Now you're the journeyman. And I'd rather, just be a 2-team quarterback. But going back to the business side of the league, AJ and I actually have had the same agent in Mike McCartney. And so really, it's really not me being a businessman. It's really been Mike's, handling me. And I know AJ lived that long before I have, and we've both got great representation.
Well, before AJ's question, I've seen his palatial estate.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Mike McCartney has done AJ Hawk good. Oh, I couldn't even imagine you, but don't sell yourself short, man. I saw the behind-the-scenes footage of when the Jets offered and when Minnesota offered. Then Will Compton came in here and was like, hey, me and Kirk have had a lot of conversations. You got a big business brain yourself. I understand your representation has done well, but you have to also be in there driving. So I have the utmost respect for you, sir. Go ahead, AJ.
Kirk, what about your new head coach, Kevin O'Connell? How much did you know about him before he got there, and how much interaction have you had with him?
So he coached me for a year as my quarterback coach in Washington in 2017. Really enjoyed my year with him then. And, the interaction, since then had been very minimal. We played him in 19, my second year here in Minnesota, and then played him again this past year when he was with LA. So, after the game, dap him up, say hello, but that was about it. And so I'm excited to, have him be our head coach. And I've already been able to connect with him a little bit and get a sense of where he wants, things to go. And so we're in those early conversations of learning a new system and kind of figuring out, what this team's going to look like up ahead.
I saw you and Adam Thielen talk, I think, on his podcast, ETS. I think I want to make sure I get the name right. On ETS, I think is his gym, and it's a podcast. And Thielen, obviously, a freak show athlete. But there was a moment on a sideline where you explained the situation where Thielen told you live during the game, like, hey, instead of this out being at 9 yards or whatever, it's actually going to be at 13 or 15 because of the way the guy's playing. And then the cameras caught you guys on the sideline, and the way you explained it is you were telling him, hey, I need you to get there quicker then. If that's what you're going to do, you need to be able to do it. And people, I think, on the internet were like, oh, no, Kirk and Adam are getting into it. And the way you described it is the good thing about having a teammate like Thielen is his emotional intelligence is high enough that you can have those type of moments and move on. I think for you, other than that you like that, I think you're kind of an enigma to a lot of people. Like, oh, there's like kind of a nerdy guy. Listening to you explain that to Adam Thielen and understand that that's a real thing, do you have to like kind of pick and choose which teammates and how you handle for everybody? Is it like situations or situational, or are you always that fiery of a guy and you just got to hope that your teammates understand it?
Yeah, I think there's always been an intensity there. But the longer I play and the more I'm around different people and even away from football in my off seasons, the more I just place a premium on self-awareness and emotional intelligence and just kind of understanding how you fit and how you should fit in a team. And that's just so important and such a big part of playing quarterback, such a big part of playing the NFL. So it certainly shows up, as you relate to teammates, relate to receivers, try to help other guys, try to serve them, try to show them, how you want things done while also trying to help them. And the balance of I'm going to demand from you and I'm also going to try to help you. And all those things are such a big part of playing the position.
Do you feel like the outside world doesn't give you enough credit or respect, or does that not bother you at all? You have to hear some of it. You have to.
I don't live in a box where I don't hear anything, but certainly winning is kind of the deal. I mean, you could be a pretty bad quarterback, and if your team wins, you're the man. And people who know can kind of see through that, and they watch the tape and they're like, I don't think they're winning because of the quarterback, but good for him, that people are in his corner. And I think the opposite can be true too. When you're the quarterback, it doesn't really matter what you do or how you play. If your team's not going to the playoffs, winning the division, playing in the Super Bowl, there's something wrong with you. And so you're always kind of working through that of, we got to win. We got to find ways to win. I got to play better, and you don't really expect people to be in your corner unless you're winning and winning consistently.
We're watching these pro days happen right now with these college kids coming out that are draft eligible, and we watch these things. Can you tell anything from a quarterback throwing on air at a pro day? Like, can you tell if that's going to translate to the NFL?
I think it's better than nothing. I mean, I would go, if I was an evaluator, I would go watch as many, quarterback pro days in person as realistic, just to be able to see how the ball leaves his hand. I think in person it's different than on tape. And so I want to see how the ball comes out of somebody's hand. But boy, it's a big difference. I mean, you guys played, but it's a big difference, throwing a football on air with no pass rush and nobody covering than it is playing real football with 22 people on the field with a pass rush coming at you. So it can sometimes, false sense of confidence or false sense of security that, hey, this guy looks really good in shorts and a T-shirt. You have to be able to see past that. But it's truly, the ball leaving a guy's hand. I think that's where pro days can be really valuable.
Hey, whenever you get drafted, same draft class as RG3, and they gave up, I think, the next 15 years of the franchise to get RG3. So you're kind of coming into a spot where all right, this is a business. I don't have a chance. I'm going to be a backup here. But you were, highly talked about coming out of Michigan State. Like, hey, this Kirk Cousins guy is a guy. He's a guy. At what moment did you know you were going to be able to play in the NFL? Because you weren't given a lot of opportunities, I assume, early in practice or really in just life in the NFL because of the RG3 trade that happened before him even getting there. At what moment did you know you were going to be a guy in the NFL? Is there something that maybe these college or these scouts can ask like a player to figure out if somebody's going to be a bust, if they're going to be able to play in the NFL? Did you have a moment or anything that kind of clicked for you?
That's a great question. Funny thing, when I was in college, we had 100 guys on the team at Michigan State and 85 on scholarship. And as long as you didn't do something really stupid like break the law, you were going to be on the team. And I had no concept when I got drafted. I just assumed I had no concept that when I showed up for OTAs, there were 90 guys and it was going to go down to 53. And I'm doing the math, and I remember saying to a veteran player, I said, I didn't realize that it's like not a lock that I'm on the team. Like I just assumed fourth round pick, I'm going to be on the team. And my agent was talking like I'm going to be on the team, but like I got to go out to practice and like play better than the other options in the room. And this guy goes, what round were you? And I said, I was a fourth round pick. And he said, you got 1 year.
Yeah.
He said, you're basically going to be politically gifted 1 year and you're okay for now. But yeah, by next year, you better be good or you're going to be gone. And so I kind of learned right away, hey, man, I got to get this together. But I'd probably say it wasn't until my 4th year that it really clicked. I played in my 3rd year and played pretty poorly and got benched. And so then I was like, maybe I'm not cut out to do this. Maybe I'm a backup at best. Maybe I'm, should be selling insurance. And it was year 4 when it started to click, and I thought, all right, I may have some staying power.
What was it? Was it just the game slowed down? The defenses started. Did you understand how to be a better leader? What was it?
It's a great question. I think it's one I'm still trying to answer. Why did it suddenly click? Because as I was playing, I was getting frustrated in years 2 and 3 because I felt like I was getting better. I felt like I had ability, and yet it just wasn't showing. There were just a lot of interceptions, a lot of just unfortunate things happening, close losses. And it was really year 4 when it just kind of the tables turned, and suddenly those close losses were close wins, and those 50-50 balls were going our way instead of their way. And I don't know, maybe it was just that experience and being able to know the difference. But it really took a while, and then year 4 was when it started, and for the most part, I haven't really looked back.
People have talked about now how you have an offensive-minded head coach, and that changes the entire dynamic of the day. Like that changes the way the game is, or the day is going to be set up. Does that change anything for you? And what is your leadership style, you think? Are you like a coach in the room everywhere you are? And is that what Kevin O'Connell's expecting, I assume? Because you need your quarterback to be a guy, and you have become a full guy. You look the part, you act the part, you talk the part, you play the part. Not everybody has that. I just want to let you know. Not everybody has that. You do, though. Is that what Kevin O'Connell's expecting? And how do you see it going now with an offensive-minded head coach?
I'll tell you, I lead a lot differently now in my 8th year as a starter than I did in my 1st year as a starter. I mean, when you don't have skin on the wall, you gotta kind of defer to the Pierre Garçons and the Deshaun Jacksons that, hey, you guys have played 10 years, I haven't. It's hard for me to just kind of come in here and act like I have all the answers. That goes back again to the self-awareness a little bit. But you better believe going into year 8 as a starter that, there's a little more authority there, a little more of a skin on the wall where you say, hey, I've been here before. I've done this. This is what we're doing. This is what we're not doing. And I think that helps the whole team, the whole offense, when they feel like, hey, this quarterback has been around the block and this isn't his first rodeo.
You have to have that. Me and AJ talk about this. That's what I think a lot of these teams should be trying to figure out whenever they're talking to these guys throwing on air. It's like, who has the mentality that they can take over a $1 billion organization? Like, that is what you need. I got a chance to watch Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck, his first couple of years, so nice to everybody, just so nice to everybody. But there was transactions being made that were definitely affecting him, and I know he didn't like it. And it's like, hey, you have to figure out a way to say, nah, we ain't, listen, we are doing this way as opposed to this way. That's the difference between NFL and college ball and high school ball. And I think the world got to see it whenever you did you like that? Mm-hmm. You like that? It was like, oh, there's a little fire out of this guy. I absolutely love it. Go ahead, Ty.
Kirk, a common narrative now is that these receivers who are coming in are just unbelievable kind of from the get-go. And obviously you had Justin Jefferson. I think he was a first-team All-Pro his rookie year. But have you noticed as you're like during your time in the league, are guys kind of ready to go when they come right in? And how quickly does it take for you to kind of get the rapport with some guy where you actually trust him and you know like you're going to be on the same page when he's running routes?
I will answer your question, but that was the first look I got at the guy on your right with the mullet. I just want to make sure I can't not address that. First question, is that a mullet? I'm not sure. There's not as much business in the front. It's just kind of slick back.
Yeah.
But if it is a mullet, can you talk to me? It looks like the mullet's coming back in the high school age kids. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, the mullet's coming back. I mean, it doesn't look like, there's a lot of business in the front, but there is. I mean, it's pretty long, as you can tell. But yeah, it's been a pretty long journey to get here. The mullet is all the way back, Kirk. I think you should probably go with it, maybe.
I grew one during I think it was during COVID, late COVID. I grew it going into the 2020 season. And I said, the mullet's really cool when you're like throwing touchdown passes and winning. But like at the very first press conference after a loss, the mullet's suddenly not cool.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart. Setting yourself up for future potential failures there. Hey, you think you look cool now? Threw a couple picks there. We lost. It was cool mullet. Cool mullet, though. That's the internet, too. The internet would do that immediately. Hey,
so,
had a baby.
Go!
Let's go, dude. That's a big day.
To answer your question, you make a good point. Receivers, it's a little easier to just plug and play. There's still a lot of learning that takes place, but if you're good and you can beat man coverage, you know how to run a go route, you can help a team. Quarterback, there's a few more moving parts, and but even that, there's still a lot of busts at the receiver position early, high draft picks. I mean, Justin Jefferson was the 5th guy taken the year we got him. 4 receivers went ahead of him. So there's still, some complexities with evaluating that position, and we're lucky that he fell to us.
I saw Peyton in the offseason. He had to get reps in with his guys because it was all the reps. The amount of reps is just insane. Hey, we're going to run this same route 1,000 times today, and then we're going to do it again tomorrow, and then we're going to do it again the next day. And he was thrown to a spot every single time he threw, and it was like a timing thing. It was a thing of beauty. You're similar. You're a similar style throw. How do you get those reps in with young receivers? Like you and Justin Jefferson, it seemed like from day one we're on the same page. Is it just a connection with some people and you don't with others, or is it just something you have to adapt to?
I think it's that he's just pretty good at football. I remember he hadn't played a lot. He was getting reps with the twos. He was playing in the slot in training camp. We didn't start him the first 2 weeks of the year. And we go and play Houston the 4th week of the year, and he runs a slant and go. And with really no background experience, I just instinctively threw him a back shoulder ball, and he just instinctively adjusts to it and makes an unbelievable catch. And among other plays leading up to that, you're like, this guy's going to be pretty good if he's doing that without a lot of time on task together. But you're right. There is a level of kind of OCD in how you prepare and wanting to rep stuff over and over and over again and feeling like, you're checking and rechecking everything so that you don't leave any stone unturned.
How good are Thielen and Jefferson? Like, what sets those two guys apart? And they're both on your team. You obviously get the ball to them a lot. Like, what do those guys do that others don't?
I'm a big believer in the receiver position, and when you build a team or an offense, having 2 guys. So a lot of talk about Justin, but I really think you need 2. And so in my career, whether it was Pierre and Deshaun in Washington, or whether it was Diggsy and Adam when I got to Minnesota, or now Justin and Adam, having 2 is really what frees up the quarterback. It frees up the coordinator. It frees up the receivers to feel like, okay, I'm not going to get too much double coverage because they've got to worry about somebody else. And I think that's when the offense can really take off, is at any moment you've got 2 dudes that can win versus man coverage and make something happen. And so Adam is a huge compliment to Justin, and Justin's a huge compliment to Adam. And I'm grateful to get to play with both of them. I know that.
Is that the change the math discussion that happens? And how early in the game do you know who they're trying to get rid of?
Yeah, and it's a little bit of you're always kind of trying to get in the defensive coordinator's head, and you never really feel like you do, because it's like, all right, they chose to do that, but it didn't work. Are they going to come back to it? Or, hey, they did that. I didn't think that was going to be the game plan, but it worked. So now are they going to go back to that? Some coordinators are, I never want to show you the same look, so I'm going to give you that look. And even if it worked, I'm not going to do it again because I'm thinking that you're expecting it. And then other coordinators are, whatever we do, we're going to do it the whole game and, dare you to figure it out. So you try to get a feel as the game goes on, and then in the back of your mind, you're always ready for cover 0. You're like, at any moment, if this guy zeroes me, I better be ready. So there's a lot of thoughts going on, the chess match between the quarterback and the D coordinator, and trying not to get fooled.
We talked to Aaron on Tuesdays, and there was this one Tuesday where he said that a defense gave him a look that he remembered from his second year playing. He was like, he was standing back there and he looked and he was like, oh, they ran this against me in like 2006 or something like that. And he tried to recall what, before the plays get snapped, what that look was about to do. And I guess he did figure, I think they threw a touchdown on the play. It's probably why we asked about it.
Probably did.
Yeah, I would assume he did. But is that the type of guy you are before snap too? Are you trying to break down I know there's different styles of things, and there's obviously Peyton has his way, Tom has his way, Aaron has his way. Before the play, is that all happening in your head? And then at what point do you have to shut that off and just fucking go with it, go with the decision?
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it's you have to take pride in kind of being a mental football nerd that, every rep you've ever had, you remember, and it carries with you, and it impacts the next play and how you play and process it. But I mean, AJ will speak to it. Aaron's on a whole nother level with just the amount of information he can take in, and I've never been around him, but just observing from a distance, when it's the play clock, the number of timeouts, the game clock, the field position, the playbook, his ability to, just handle it all. I mean, as LaFleur was telling me at the Pro Bowl, he said, I'm calling a play to him, and he's having a conversation with the referee while he's hearing the play call, and then he goes into the huddle and calls the play. Like, he can do both at the same time. It's unbelievable. And so I think his arm is ridiculous. It's like he's throwing a tennis ball. His feet are quick. But I honestly think his most elite trait is his mind and his ability to process so much more than the rest of us. But that being said, yeah, to play quarterback at this level, at this league, at a high level, anybody, you got to have a mind that can, have a high capacity.
I think that's because there's offenses changing, obviously, in the NFL. But if you look, Stafford, Joey Burrow, I mean, that was the Super Bowl. And Patrick Mahomes moves, obviously, but he is a passer versus Tom Brady the year before. I mean, if you have a cerebral quarterback that can break down what the hell's going on and throw the ball everywhere, that's going to have a place forever. Do you think the game changing, and this is obviously not Kirk Cousins, the quarterback for the Vikings, this is Kirk Cousins, football pundit. Do you think offensive changes that you're seeing around the NFL, do you think that's going to continue, or do you think there will always be the same old school mental gymnastic freaks that can pick apart a defense is going to be successful in the end?
That's another great question, and one that I've asked myself a lot as I go through my career, because I don't want to be a dinosaur. I want to adapt. And so if I need to change my game, I'll change it. But I remember saying to Matt Cavanaugh, my quarterback coach in Washington before Kevin arrived, just saying, Matt played 14 years in the league and coached and, has been a part of multiple Super Bowls. And I said to him, you think, the quarterback position is going to change where you've got to run a 4-4 and you've got to just run around and kind of make plays off schedule, and that's the only way to play in this league someday. And he said, that's going to be good. That's a nice trait to have. But he said, I think that if you can't throw from the pocket, go through a progression, throw with accuracy, and kind of do it the old school way also, you can't play. And so he said there will always be that foundation you have to have, and then anything above that is a bonus.
Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Kirk, first things first. I mean, you got Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Just grow the damn mullet back. I think you'll be all right. All is said and
We're
done.
going to be just fine, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Dalvin Cook, who
Zero
cares?
interceptions.
Yeah, none.
Zero. The entire season. New offense.
Exactly.
Zero
It'll be a
interceptions.
perfect offense. Speaking of the new offense, with a first-year head coach, first-year GM, do they ask you for any input, going into free agency and going into the draft, what you think the team, might need to take the next step and maybe overtake the Packers?
I think they're open to input. I don't even know that I waited to ask for if they wanted input. I just kind of shared it, and I kind of preface it with, you can do what you want with this, but here's my take on, where we're at, not only on the roster, but as an organization, here's where we're at. And then, honestly, once I say my piece and share it, then it's, hey, you guys are, in big roles, and you're paid to do that job, and you got to go do it. So whatever you do, you do. And but I just want them to have information that they can then make decisions with however they want to do it.
I like the thought of Kwesi sitting there. He just got the job, just got the Vikings GM job. Man, what a day. Fucking GM. All right, here we go. Sits down at night, doing whatever. And all of a sudden he gets an unknown number with a text. Hey, what's up, man? Welcome to the Vikings. This is Kirk. Here are some thoughts. But you're setting a precedent too, I think, though. You're also setting a precedent, I think, right?
Yeah, honestly, what you just described is eerily similar to what happened. It was nice to meet you. We need to win. Here's my thoughts on how to do that. It's been great though. They're just classy guys, hardworking, smart, and now like I said, hey, we checked the first box in terms of getting the right people in here, you and Kevin and all that. But I said the second box of checks is to go win, and that's on me as much as on anyone. And that we don't get to figure that out till the fall, but we're taking steps on our way there right now.
Kirk, your legacy is going to be, forever. After you retire, they're going to talk about whether you win or not. I like the fact that you're taking ownership over that, honestly. And I think a lot of guys around the league are starting to do that. Like, hey, listen. The way things are being talked about, social media, conversations, narratives, the way it's more than ever. And it's only going to grow, by the way, as more of these platforms and more money goes. The fact that you understand, hey, the way I'm going to be talked about forever is how we do this thing, Quest. Like, that ownership is what I think everybody wants and needs out of their quarterback. And not just their quarterback, all their pillar positions. I love hearing. I'm sure Vikings fans are pumped to hear you right now. Go ahead, Tone. Last question for you, Kirk. Appreciate you.
Kirk, I'm not sure if you heard or not. When Russ Wilson went to the Denver Broncos, he was asked about their division, and he said he was pumped to play in the best division, blah, 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 whatever. Be honest with us. Were you hoping that Aaron Rodgers retired?
I always want the neighborhood to be as friendly as possible. And as long as Aaron Rodgers lives at the end of the cul-de-sac, the neighborhood's going to be challenging. And, we always say, hey, to be the best, you got to beat the best kind of a thing. So you don't want to back into anything. But I'd be lying to you if I thought that the division would be just as difficult if Aaron Rodgers were somewhere else. That's just out of respect for his game and the way he's played for, 17 years. So, it is what it is. You gotta go toe to toe with that team. That's been a great team the last several years, well coached, and you got to find a way to get it done. And that's why you work so hard and why you're on the phone with the GM and the head coach saying, hey, here's what I think we need to do, because it's a matter of inches in the difference between playing meaningful football in January and February and sitting at home watching it on TV.
Cliff Kingsbury told us right here. He came in during the combine, and he said whenever we told him that, it's rumors that Russell Wilson's going to be leaving, and he said, I hope God. I hope to God he's out of the NFC West, So what you're saying here is not, a unique one. It's a real one, and it's respect for the great players around. And, Kirk, what's the offseason look like? What are you doing right now? You golf? How's the golf game? Working out a little bit? Mental test? Russell Wilson watched every single play that the Broncos had last year in a 2-day period. Are you studying the film right now? What does all offseason look like for Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. I got a film set up. I do my body work, but you better believe I'm going to hit the golf course too and spend some family time. I'm actually spending most of my off season here in Orlando. We're basically around Disney World a lot, so we get over there. I'm a little bit of a Disney guy, so get over there and have fun with that too. So that's kind of my change of pace. But I also got to say, before I get off, seeing AJ reminded me, one of the greatest regrets of my entire life, and certainly of my football career, was early in my career, my agency called me and said, hey, you got an opportunity to go sit and look at, in LA, watch a filming of The Office, the actual show. And they said, for proof that you can do it, here's a picture of AJ Hawk. He went and watched the film The Office, got to meet the characters, all that stuff. Literally, I saw a picture of AJ in The Office. And
that face?
I almost did it. I had a few things going on. I turned it down. And to this day, it pains me to say that. But I just had to bring it up with AJ. That the fact that he did that, man, I'm so jealous, and I was so stupid not to do it too. But I just wanted to hear what that experience was like.
Oh, it was awesome. Thanks to Julie for setting that up. It was right after the Super Bowl, and I had my hand in a full cast. I just had surgery and had my wrist rebuilt and had a 2-month-old baby. And we took her in there and spent 6 hours. We ate lunch with all the characters. Yeah, it was crazy, Kirk. If you're obviously you're a fan. It was
How are we
awesome.
just not here?
What the hell?
Kirk, you just started some shit.
How
How did this even not get brought up until Kirk Cousins comes on the show?
How was I going to bring it up?
I mean, we've talked about Baumgartner 1,000 times.
10,000 times, Michael. I mean, literally, we've talked about this no less than
at least 1,000 times.
I'm not even exaggerating. 1,000, and it's never brought. Kirk, this is bullshit. What is
He's
the
been
deal?
on a real roll lately.
That's unbelievable, Kirk. I wish you would have went so we could have talked to you about it. I know you would have at least brought it up if we're like, "Hey, The Office, pretty good show." You would have said, "I actually watched one of those." Yeah. You would have done that, Kirk, because you're a good human. You know what I mean? AJ,
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Friends don't not tell friends about visiting the Office cast.
Amen.
Thank you.
You're right, Kirk.
Thank you,
Thank you, Kirk. Gee, grow the mullet back, Kirk.
Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins. Thank you, Kirk. What the fuck?
You're a bum. I'm sure I've mentioned that on here.
No, you haven't. Not once.
You hear
Not
the
like you
intros I
remember.
give? Not that I would
Just
remember.
check the records. He never said it.
Bro.
Especially if Will Ferrell was there.
It's in his schedule. Yeah, it's in his calendar, everything you say. You don't
It
think
was awesome. I loved it. Have you seen The
You don't
Office?
say.
Yes, I've seen a couple episodes. I get
Exactly.
it. But
So why would I talk to you about it? You've never seen anything.
oh, you only talk to me on this show? You're not talking about a bunch of members of the Office cult that are literally in this office right now?
Watched The Office 5 times straight through.
Yeah, it was great. I had a
Very
great time.
ashamed of
Twice
you.
last night.
I'm a big fan of the show.
Go to hell. No, you're not.
What episode was it?
D'Angelo Vickers, he said, when Will Ferrell was there.
Yeah.
Was it really?
It was cool. I got to see, Will Ferrell and Steve Carell working together when I was there.
Shut up.
Can't
Ad-lib,
imagine
or was
wanting
that,
to hear about that.
was that all scripted or ad-libbed?
I don't know. I mean, I think a little bit of both.
Were you impressed by by the way they worked, or what?
I was very impressed by everything that they did and how cool they were in between takes. Yeah.
Yeah, they got along. They didn't. Michael Scott wasn't actually hated by everybody, or no?
No, I was impressed with how nice they were to us too. We were, coming into their territory and everything, and they were in the middle of a workday, and they were still super cool.
You were their audience, though. You were giving them a little boost of energy.
Yeah, true.
Did you laugh?
We were
Did you
right
laugh?
off set. Right, we were watching on a monitor right outside of the studio, and then when they would break, they would say cut, we get to go into the studio and talk to them in between while they're setting up lights and all that.
Did you wear your jersey and say Hawk across the back?
No, I did not wear my jersey.
Why not? I didn't know.
Should have.
Did you laugh? Good big pops, big fake pops, even when it wasn't as funny as maybe it was.
Well, yeah, but there's no studio audience, so they wouldn't want me to do that.
I'm
You have
talking
to be
about when you
quiet.
went in after the shot. Whenever you go back in the studio.
Great take. That was so good.
Best episode ever.
Yeah. I was like, man, this is unbelievable because I'd known Brian Baumgartner before, and I'm watching him work.
yeah,
Like,
of
man, I had no idea this is how it works. You guys are unbelievable.
Yeah, that's good. That's smart.
Great catering. The food was awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure you should have told us this maybe 2-3 years ago.
At least.
I probably did.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Well, here we go.
Kirk told us.
Yeah.
He did.
He did.
I fucking love Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he's the best.
He's great.
Yeah.
Really cool. You know who else I love? Like, probably going to reference him
Oh, yeah.
10 to 20,000 times now for the rest of my life. Joe fucking Walsh.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Joe Walsh is a showman. You hear me? Joe Walsh is a showman. He did a quick little 2-minute set right before Life's Been Good, where he talked about how, if you ask me, life was better when you were in your 20s in the 70s than 70s in the 20s. And everybody, yeah, Joe. Joe, he had a different guitar for every song they played. Okay, he had a new guitar brought out. Every one of them were fucking awesome. Then he had the thing where the straw goes in your ow, ow, ow. You know that thing? So when every song that it had that, they bring out one of those guitars, different ones of those too. So he would take the guitar he had on that he was playing for the song, he would turn that axe to the back, and then they would bring him a new one that he would
like Pete Frampton.
And then they get rid of that one. Then he would have a new one of those that would come in whenever and every song, even when it wasn't like a Joe Walsh song, because Vince Gill was there, who I knew that the Cavoyans from Bob and Tom, Bob Cavoyan was a good friend of his. He fucking is replacing the late Glenn Fry. Okay,
Yes.
who you texted me about, obviously, right before the show. AJ sends me a text about him. Rest in peace is what AJ said.
Sure.
Of course, that's what AJ said. But Vince Gill was playing for him. There was a couple moments where Joe Walsh would go into a guitar solo. He's 70 years old. He's been through some shit. We've all heard, literally, there's an entire song about him. The showman, just like whammy bar every single, even when he wasn't a part of songs, he was in the back. I want to let Joe Walsh know, I have the utmost amount of fucking respect for the showman and the entertainer that he is. Because whenever he was off light, right, and we sat in the front row. I would
big deal.
Big deal, actually. I would like to let everybody know, don't ever do it.
Oh, no.
Don't ever do it. I didn't even know there was an orchestra and a symphony in the back of the stage. I couldn't even fucking see it. I didn't even know. We showed up late, obviously. I mean, parking was terrible. They said the concert started at 8. They did. They started right at 8. They played the entire Hotel California album straight through. So I guess that's what used to happen back in the days. They just play the entire album straight through, and they did that. We got 25 minutes late, so we missed Hotel California. It was the first song they played at 8 o'clock. Probably was awesome if I had to guess. They sounded fucking unbelievable. We get there 25 minutes in, and my wife bought these tickets just a few days ago because we heard the Eagles were in town. I got a lot going on, a little date night. Hey, you want to go see the Eagles? Sure. These 2 tickets are available. You might be able to stretch out your legs. They were very expensive. Front row. Never done that before at a concert in my entire life. So we get there. That was my entire view. There's Joe Walsh, by the way.
Was this at a basketball arena?
Yeah, it was at Gamebridge down there. We show up 25 minutes late. That place is so packed. Our seats were the only 2 that were open, and right in the dead center front row or whatever. So we walk in there. The guy next to me, what took you so long? All right. This guy, Steve, I met him. He's 6'2", 340. The reason why I know that is because after they played Hotel California, we were 25 minutes into a 40-minute album. They took a 20-minute break. Okay, so we saw 10 minutes of the last 2 songs of their first album, of Hotel California, then a 20-minute break, and then they played the greatest hits, right? My biggest nightmare was that 20-minute break, by the way. It just got there. Lights go on.
Yep.
A lot of people did happen.
House lights on, yeah. Everybody loves Pat.
Oh, it was and I'm in the front, and it was, we could have done it a little better. We should have showed up earlier, should have saw Hotel California. My fault, not my wife's. Whatever the case. We're up in there. We can't see the back of the stage, okay? So the only way we can see it once they start the greatest hits is if we stand up. If you stand up, we can see it all. All right, we're standing, first song they're playing in the greatest hits section. I forget what it was. The wife and I having a good time. We're out and about. Might be on Cloud 40, might not be, depending upon where I was. We're having a blast. That box is right in front of us. I mean, there is a box right in front of us, a speaker, but we could still see pretty good when we stood up. I turned around. There's like this 18-year-old girl in a flannel, okay, second row with her dad, both sitting down, arms crossed, pissed. They're the only 2 sitting. Everybody else around is standing, except for the people that are directly behind me, okay? And I can't see shit. I assume they can't either because of where I'm at. And this guy, Steve, next to me, is a large man. He's also standing, right? So now I'm in a situation, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I don't want to. So I actually look at the dad and I assume the daughter, or if they were dating, I'm not sure. And I just sat down, right? I just sat down. Couldn't see anything behind the singers here, but the show was awesome. Like, the video boards were awesome. And then Sam was kind of uncomfortable as well. We didn't know what to do because of how fucking miserable these 2 looked behind. I mean, they looked very miserable right here. They were pissed off at us. So Sam inevitably sits down, and the lead singer who also plays the drums, named
Dahn Henley.
Dahn Henley. He's got some pipes. He actually says, he goes, all right, I just want to let you all know, basically, sit the fuck down. Okay? Because nobody paid all the money to come here to stare at your ass. There will be a time to stand up, and when that time comes, you will know when. But until then, sit down. I was like, my fucking man. Like, this dude, because I didn't want to disrespect them, too. I'm front row, right? So if I'm sitting and everybody else is standing,
look like an asshole.
I'm a fucking asshole. But if I'm standing, this person,
you're an asshole.
I'm an asshole. So like literally he made an announcement that was like, hey, you sit down, basically, and you'll know when to stand. We're gonna play a lot of songs here. Let's have a good time. While the dude's doing that, this guy next to me, Steve, he stands up and goes, sorry in advance, while this dude's talking, and then he sits down and tells whoever he was with, I'm 6'2", 340, like I'm gonna get in people's way. He had a good time, okay? He was a very nice man. This guy was a very nice man. He paid a lot of money for these tickets, but he was a big dude and he was having a good time, okay? And he at some point he left and he came back and he had a glass of Jameson for me. He was like, Jameson? I'm like, nah, dude, I'm cool. Thank you so much. All right. So the concert goes on for like another 2 hours or whatever. And there was moments where Steve couldn't contain himself. A couple songs came on, and although we were told to sit and everybody else was sitting, Steve got up. There's a couple other people in the front row that were like, how are you not standing right now? And it's like, well, everybody was told. So finally, Steve sits back down. They start playing. Life's Been Good to Me comes on, right? I mean, right? So everybody, you kind of see everybody kind of raise their feet. It's like, oh, whenever they said earlier, like, you'll know when to stand up, and everybody's up. Like, even the 2 miserable people behind me, they're standing. They can't see shit. Neither can we really, but there's a whole show. And I'm like, we're having a good time. My wife, I'm like, yes, I'm so happy this is happening. And the guy is like 10 feet right here to the right. And he's fucking, by the way, I mean, he is Joe Walsh is all the way in. I look to my left, Steve's asleep.
What?
Steve's asleep. I said to my wife, oh, Steve's gonna be so mad. Like, this is the only time we're supposed to stand. And Steve was out cold, right? Absolutely out cold. And somebody, I think, like bumped into him or whatever, and I saw him like pick up his head. And it was literally at the end of that song live. They played it for like 15 minutes.
I bet.
It's like a 15-minute song because of the amount of like shredding in between, and then they come back. He wakes up like towards the end of that song, and I see him stand up, and then we all sit back down. Oh my God, I felt so fucking bad for Steve. This is what he gave when he fell asleep in the middle. And if I would have drank that Jameson, I think Steve has that moment. So I feel like an asshole regardless, but What a fucking night. Joe Walsh, the guy. Vince Gill, unbelievable. He's,
Does he sing with them too?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He does a lot of the singing.
That's a nice little addition. I mean, Vince Gill was gigantic on his own, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he is...
He's good.
He's a player. Yeah, an axe man.
So are they doing a monster tour? Like, are they going all over and playing a bunch of shows?
I actually thought this afterwards because they are like 70. I think they're like 70 years old. They were committed. Like, hey, it was a
That's the best. That's my favorite thing going to live shows is seeing when people make these dudes are all in. Like, they love what they're doing. That's what I respect.
A lot of moments like where they could have got exposed, where, you know, like spotlight on one, like on Joe, for instance. Spotlight on Joe, zoom in on his hands, and you actually see that he is actually playing. And he misses a couple, but also he went through this one guitar solo that was like, I think it was like 2 minutes long, and he like you see him like working like all the way into it, you know, and they're zoomed in on it, and the place is going crazy, and then he ends it, and I'm like, God damn, that had to feel so fucking good for Joe. Like that had to feel so awesome that he hit that at like 70 years old, hour and a half into a show, had to be so fucking hot, like the whole thing, and he just crushed. I was so happy for him, but they were going all in, and my next thought was, there's no way they have a show tomorrow. Like
they have a show every other day for the next 2 weeks, and then they have like a month off, and then they go again. I'm sure they were doing it before this too.
Bro, I have no idea how. They were fucking all in, dude. In the drummer lead singer guy named
Dahn Henley.
Dahn Henley, right after the end of Hotel California, when that's not Dahn Henley. That's not him. That's him.
Yeah.
That's him.
Hell yeah.
Plays guitar as well, but he plays the drums in the back, which I couldn't see him because he was back off
Behind there.
So I didn't see him for the second half of the entire concert, but I did hear him. Whenever they ended Hotel California, before going to the greatest hits part, they said, all right, we got a 20-minute break. You guys go to the bathroom. We're going to go to the bathroom as well. When we come back, we're going to wear your asses out. And they did, like 11:15, 11:20, that thing ended. Damn. I mean, they went.
Really? They played that long?
Yeah, they fucking went, dude. And
Good for them, man. I'm gonna have to look them up and go to a show.
Great show. When I say that, it was a great fucking show. I mean, the seats were interesting. I would never do that again. But in that guy, Stuart Smith, I think, he's shredded over there on the right side. Joe Walsh, though, is the show. It's hard not to just watch it. Now, granted, I was forced to because the box was right there in front of me. And the way I was leaning for Sam, because I had the arm around the back, half seat, you know, because Steve was right here.
Right.
And I was slunched down because the
People behind it.
so I was like this. So I was literally kind of forced to just stare at Joe Walsh the entire time. They had Vince all the way back here on far left. So every once in a while when he would start shredding, I'd have to do like a full, like one of those. But man, it was a great show. I was very impressed. Thankful for the wife for thinking of the idea and buying it. She might go back front row to a concert, but I don't think I'll ever do it.
Go to a box. You should get a box next time.
We tried, and I ran into a Colt player that will go nameless during that 20-minute lights on period when, I was starting to get a couple people were coming up like to talk to me there. So wife and I made a decision. We're going to go on a move here. We're going to go on a move. So as I'm walking around, obviously there's people yelling at me. One person screams, "Hey, asshole," like pretty loud. And I'm like, that was definitely to me, but I'm not going to look. And I get caught up. A Colts player goes, "What are you doing running around Gen Pop, dude?" "What are you doing Gen Pop, dude? We're up in a suite up here. Why don't you have a suite?" I'm like, "Oh, it must be nice. Must be fucking nice to be you guys. We got these tickets 2 days ago, front row. I thought it was going to be amazing." It was, but also getting in and out of there is very uncomfortable.
Yeah. So how do they fix that? Just a higher...
Yeah, so I actually thought, by the way, as you probably thought, the entire time I was there, I was trying to figure out, how do we make this better? So, I think you need a stage for your people to sit on, but also... You can't sell the bottom half of the back. They had that motherfucker packed.
Packed out, I bet.
Hey, they sold top. We're talking all the way up in the top, and these tickets were good. And I think at one point, the drummer lead singer guy named
Dahn Henley.
Dahn Henley, he gave a speech about how they're just happy to be anywhere right now. And I immediately was like, bro, you just fucking sold out an entire goddamn arena.
Yeah.
I don't think you should just be happy to be anywhere. You guys are doing really, packed out to the top of that place. It's
got to feel good being 70 years old. They've been doing it for 50 years. Also, they've been stuck. All these performers, they've been stuck for COVID. So I'm sure we're gonna have a period now for a while where they're just very excited to be back on the road.
Well, and I think people are gonna want to get out and see the people that they would maybe thought, oh, if I ever get an opportunity to do that again, I'm gonna go do that. If I ever get a chance to do that, I'm gonna go do that. I was nothing short of impressed of the entire operation.
How was the crowd? Was the crowd pretty old?
Yeah, I mean, it was an older crowd, obviously. I don't think we weren't the youngest ones in our area. There was a group of like 6 college kids that you could tell like they were very happy that they knew Eagles songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like their parents probably were big Eagles fans, and like they take a lot of pride in the fact that they were younger Eagles. But it was fucking awesome, man. It was a good show, long show. There was some. I mean, we didn't prepare well showing up. Right before that 20-minute break where I was literally just put into a fucking. That was quite a scene there, and I'm sure Sam didn't necessarily love that for a date night, but reality is that's just going to happen. But we had a blast, dude. I had a great time.
So you're glad you went. That's good.
I am. I'm a little tired, after the, Monday, this show, then Peyton's Places, then Raw, then meetings, then this show. Then fucking the Eagles rocked my face off for 3.5 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's going to be a nap coming at some point today, but I loved it. I had so much fun. So much fun.
Good to know about that front row, too. I figured it would have been awesome. Or, not that, like, the view would have been awesome, rather.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm 6'2". I had my
tall.
boots on. I had my boots on, so like 6'4". At the time with my cowboy boots, 6'3", 6'4". I couldn't even really see like.
Best place I feel like for a concert like that in an arena is like diagonal of the stage, like 8 rows up, because you're almost at the same level as the stage and the performers, and you can see them perfectly. And if you want to sit, you can sit there. It's a great spot.
But how about we weren't able to get those. By the way, we got these seats because literally they were the last 2 that we were almost able to get, and they were obviously pretty expensive. Shout out to SeatGeek for providing the platform to buy those. But don't your knees get all fucked? I can't sit in those arena seats. I can't. My knees.
I mean, yeah, sitting's terrible, but most concerts you go to, I feel like you're forced to stand up even if you don't want to.
Well, not in this one. Actually, you're hey, sit your
Well,
ass down.
he's catering to his audience. He knows, hey, we got some old people here. They might want to rest their legs a little bit.
By the way, as soon as he said it, I was like, genius. Thank fucking God. Like, thank you for saying that. Because
It's always the question, like, are we standing, we sitting, or whatever? It happens at games. It happens all the time. And I'm like, I would always choose to sit if I can.
Bro, front row. I'm front row. So, like, Joe did something off.
You got to stand there. I feel like whoever's on the floor has to stand the whole time, every concert I've ever been to.
Okay, well, you can't because the person behind you. So Joe did something like off. He wasn't the light. He was just like a part of it. But he did something, and I like stood and was like, "Hey, baby Joe," and I'm like, "Oh, I might start a fucking standing ovation." Yeah, in the front row, like no. Like I don't want to distract anything. I just wanted to say like that was fucking awesome what you just did right there. It was really cool, man. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. I'm thankful for it all, just like this show. Shout out to Patty the Batty, Gene Steratore, Kirk Cousins, AJ Hawk, a guy who was fucking live on set at The Office. Chris Mad Dog Russo's after this 10-minute break. I missed it. Yeah, it was awesome, that show.
It's good. I wasn't sure how it was going to be. I'm glad they're killing it still.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I regretted going. Whenever they played the back 3 songs of Hotel California that I only heard of one of them. I hadn't really heard of the other 2 songs because I guess every album back in the day is a full story, right? So you hear Hotel California, that's the launch off of the entire story for that entire album. And they took a lot of pride in that. We missed the first fucking 6 chapters of the story. Hotel California to where we were. I'd never heard of that song before. So it was like, all right, this sucks, is what I said. And we can't, this fucking thing's right in front of us. I can't see anybody. And then they go, oh, we got a 20-minute break. And then the lights come on. I'm like, this is the worst fucking night of my life. I cannot wait to bury this experience tomorrow. And then they came back on and went for 2.5 fucking hours. And it was just like, oh, this is amazing. And watching like a Hall of Famer, like go to work, like and do their thing. And obviously you could see things on TV and you can see things on a screen. But like just watching that live, and I don't know how much longer, right?
Yeah, probably not true. Probably not very much.
It was fucking really cool, inspiring, dude. Like inspiring.
I agree.
I hope to one day be half as much of a showman as fucking Joe Walsh. Honestly, one day.
Or to like be so into something as much as like they are, like they live that. Like how Gene is about reffing, like it's the juice. Like he feels like game day is game day, like everyone feels it. And that's what kept him reffing for so long. I feel like these musicians, I mean, that's what they live for, is to get on stage. So it's fun I like to watch all the little interactions like between songs, how they talk with each other, all their fist bumping. Like I get pumped when I see them have like great camaraderie. Like, oh, you guys are a team. You're still juiced. You've been doing this for 30 years. You should hate each other probably.
Yeah, and there's and I think there was those moments for the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
I think they had.
When Hell Freezes Over, right? Didn't they have an album? They said they'd get back together when Hell Freezes Over, and then they named their album When Hell Freezes Over. Was that them?
Yeah.
Was it?
I believe so, yeah.
And was it because of Joe?
I think he was a big part of it, but that was when he was kind of, going through it, I think, as well.
And by the way, I could see how that would be an issue if Joe, who's obviously the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume he was like that all the time, but if he's obviously the show and he's the one also potentially causing a lot, is there jealousy involved there too? Because in his mind, he's probably thinking that, plus also any of the other factors.
Don Henley's like the leader. Isn't he like the supposed leader of the Eagles?
Yeah, I think Dahn also had a very successful solo career, so I think he was part of that as well.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Dahn and the guy that died who didn't they fight a lot?
Not sure.
I'm going to say this. If you're on the road and you are a bunch of incredibly talented people and, the road life isn't easy and there's some extracurriculars also getting added into there and, agents and business and money and everything. I don't know how any band that tours ever remains friends. There has
each person too, like each individual member, they have their people, their managers, their agents, their family saying, "Hey, you need more solos. Like you're one of the best people in the group. Why is old buddy getting all the shine?" Like that's a huge thing. I don't know how you figure out.
And by the way, all that might be accurate too.
Yeah,
especially when you have that many talented people. It's like, yeah, that could be accurate as well, but you just kind of got to buy your role here. Like their bassist, right? He's probably very fucking good.
For sure.
He's probably like a very talented bassist, but for a lot of those songs, he's just, kind of, and then whenever he's asked to sing, he comes and fucking kills it. It's like, oh, this guy could probably, like if this guy really wanted to, he probably could have done his own thing, but that's
probably has a few albums on his own anyway. They all feel like they can do everything.
Yeah, well, I think last night I saw a group of dudes that could. It was fucking unbelievable.
They played over. They were there over 3 hours.
3 hours. They played 3 hours minus
That's
20.
awesome.
I guess 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Think about that. So they're definitely in their 70s, right? All of them.
Yeah,
man,
it's a long
it's
time.
amazing. They had a fucking symphony and a whole orchestra from Indy.
Oh, really? Like the local.
Yeah, and they said support your local musicians and everything like that. Then the guy that scored like Hotel California, Jim Ed something, he was there in the back. It was like he got a big time pop. It's like, oh, these are like music nerds that just did rock and roll. Like that's what it sounds, and that's why it's so fucking good, and everything just makes so much sense. I really enjoyed it. I did.
Yeah,
That's
sweet.
good to know that they still have their fastball too, because that, like, you do hear sometimes like some of these like legendary bands, or like you go see them, 20 years later or whatever when they've been touring. It's like, oh man, like they stunk. What the fuck was that?
That sounded like a scissor lift.
Sounded like fucking whole nuclear power plant shut down.
What was that?
What happened?
Was that
Are you
over
okay?
there?
Fucking
went off. I had my little baby vacuum.
Hand fan. Yeah, that's what it was.
My little baby vacuum with some ashes in between.
What's
Hit the
that
little
deal?
button.
You got a little baby vacuum deal?
What?
I
To get my
burned 3 or
ash?
4 of them for some reason. I guess when you pick up hot ashes accidentally, it shuts the motor off. So I've had to order 4 of these.
He's burning it up.
You don't say.
You can't vacuum fire. Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
I gotta pat it out before I do it.
Yeah, smart. And just maybe don't start fires too.
Yeah, get a broom.
I'm not starting fires.
You're talking about them mailing it in though, potentially.
Or just like not being that good anymore because they're old.
Yeah,
It's hard to sing. At 70 years old, I would imagine your voice doesn't feel like it did when you were 30.
The leader of the band, also the drummer, his name is
Dahn Henley.
He carried a
He did Desperado, right? Doesn't he sing that?
What's that, buddy?
Doesn't he sing Desperado?
Oh yeah. And by the way, that was, I don't want to give away set list, second song of Encore.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Second song of Encore, Desperado. We actually left after Desperado.
Fair
I
enough.
think there was 2 songs left in
great
the Encore.
closing
We found
song.
from online, but yeah, he killed it. But in their show, like it was hard for me not to just watch. A lot of thinking. I had my phone out 2 times. One was during that 20-minute break, and I realized, all right, I got to get on the move. Let me catch up. And then another one was there was a string of 2 songs that I didn't know, and they were slow. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to fall asleep. It's been a long day. Let me go see what's going on. But I didn't want to distract them, because I was in their eyes. And if I'm putting on a show, I don't want the motherfucker in the front row. So I had to time it out where, like, I wasn't going to be seen by anybody there, and I went pretty quick. Other than that, I had phone in the pocket for 3 hours, just kind of enjoying the show, watching the show. So it's a lot of thinking at Eagles concerts, by the way. A lot of thinking, a lot of like breaking down the show. They had this camera that was on a roller, obviously, and it was like a PTZ, And it was like, oh, the production of the live show here on the screen. I was actually like, oh, if we did that, we could still have like 6 cameras, PTZs. Foxy can still cut the show basically, and we can even get better shot. Like that's what I was doing for a good, like 45 minutes. Like, all right, and if we do this, we got to raise this, obviously. We got to sell the back here. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And then we get back in. All right. Life's been good to me. All right, we're back in this
Steve,
thing.
wake up.
It was crazy. It felt like I was like experiencing life back in the day before phones, though. It was cool. It was a cool night.
Hey, when Big Steve was taking a nap, did you think for a split second, oh no, this dude's dead?
Well, I thought Steve had way too much juice to ever die, to be honest, early.
Pinch his nose. You got to pinch his nose. That's what my brother always does to me. It pisses you off so bad if you're sleeping and someone pinches your nose.
Yeah, your brother sounds like he's trying to torment you.
I do it to him, but yeah.
Because you're a bully. But Steve was a good guy. He's a nice guy. Just loved that he was at that concert. He was just...
Got a little too tuned up.
He just had 2 Jamesons. He thought he was only going to have 1 Jameson. He thought he was new. He said Steve was, he didn't know who I was when I sat down, obviously, which is awesome. Incredible. This is what I would like. And then a couple of the security people, while the music's playing, while they're still playing Hotel California there, a couple dudes come up like, hey, Pat, good your disguise isn't that great or something. I had a hood up and whatever. I'm like, oh, cool. And they all had masks on, so I couldn't see. And it was dark, so I had no idea who the fuck any of these people were. And I'm talking to him, and he goes, did you know that guy just shook your hand? And I said, I think I've met him or something. He goes, my friend's wife's brother is security here. He's supposed to come say hello to me. I don't know if that was him or not or whatever. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I wish I could tell you, man. I was like, I want to let you know, though, if he did think he just said hello to you, it went very smooth. Nice, clean dab. It was very good. I think he was happy. I couldn't see his face. So you did a great job. He goes, oh, all right, thanks. Right, and then he goes back to his thing. And then somebody tells him, I think, who I was. So as soon as that music stops, he goes, what's your name? Screaming, okay? And we're at the front row, so his ear, it's like echoing there. I'm like, hi, I'm Pat, man. He goes, I'm Steve. What's your last name? He's like, screams at me. I'm like, Johnson. Yeah, he goes, ha, 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 ha. It's Pat Johnson. It's not Pat McAfee or whatever. Like this guy was, I think he's a salesman of some sort. Like his energy felt like that whole thing. A lot of Chris Farley in him too.
Oh, wow.
But he was a good guy. He was a nice guy, but I was so bummed for him. He fucking was passed out during the only moment he was waiting for.
Yeah.
The only moment, dude. It was stolen from him. The standing was stolen from him for that entire time. And then the moment for it to happen, he's fucking passed out. I was so...
I mean, that's kind of on Steve.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it would have made it better if if he'd have been sleeping during that those 2 boring songs, if you'd have sat down next to him and just rested your little head on his shoulder and dozed off.
No, you got to remember, I was incredibly uncomfortable that entire time. My ass was asleep. My right ass cheek was asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm slouched down. In the chairs, listen, I don't want to be like too much of a prick here. We paid a lot of money for those fucking tickets. Those chairs, they mailed it in on those chairs. That's not fucking Eagles. That's goddamn this fucking place.
Gamebridge.
Yeah, this fucking place. So I'm on like a steel chair that has like a little pad, but I got a fat ass and I'm heavy and I'm on the side. So my entire right leg was asleep. Like there was when Vince Gill was doing something awesome and I saw it on the screen, I was like, all right, I can watch this on TV. I should watch it in person. Getting to him all the way over here was a task. I mean, it was like I'd like fucking lift my leg up almost. Like here we are. So there's no way I was sleeping on that guy's shoulder, but he did sleep for a good 20, 30, I think. He missed a lot of bangers, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure those weren't the only 2 JMOs he had, too. But he had quite a few before he came in there.
Yeah. What's your name? It was so loud. I've never heard somebody speak that loud before.
It's weird when they play the full album. I know someone invited my wife and I to a Stevie Wonder concert like 5 years ago. General Bob was in the box with us. I don't know who got the tickets, whatever. My wife actually likes Stevie Wonder a lot. He has some hits for sure. And he's playing these songs, and we were like an hour and a half in, and I'd never heard one song he played. He, my wife, I'm like, what are we doing? What is he playing? I have no clue. And then someone that got the box was like, oh, this is great. He's playing one album that nobody knows about, that didn't get the attention Stevie felt like deserved. He's playing it from front to back. And I'm like, okay, let me see the album. And we look it up, and I'm like, I've never heard of one of these. He's not. I told my wife, I'm like, I hate to break it to you, you're not getting the hits that you thought you were getting. So we can make a decision here now, stay or go. What do we do?
So Hotel California, obviously legendary album. They played through it. There's a couple songs on there, though, that nobody's heard of except for the diehards, who, by the way, I'm sitting
flanked by.
Around them. So whenever they would play a song that I'd never heard of that was slow, and it's definitely, I mean, I could see how people thought it was a good song. I just have never fucking heard of it. You could tell the people that were like explaining to other people about what this song was and like why, they knew what it was, and the fact that we are less of Eagles fans. And there was a lot of that going on for a certain amount of songs out there too. Like, oh, you don't know the song? Like, all right. No, I don't.
Of course. And they got to not people like that have to claim like they don't like the hits. Like, oh, I don't want to hear them play this. Like, if anyone else has ever heard of it, I don't like it because they're not a true fan.
Bro, I love the motivational speeches from the diehard fans in between the songs.
What do you like? What?
Still got it, Joe. But he's got ear things that he can't hear a fuck. They can't hear a fucking word we're saying, right? Unless there is an actual moment. There's a couple moments where there was a callback moment where I think they probably turned it down in the ears a little bit so they could hear it. That's like at SmackDown. When I have my headphones on, like I cannot hear what the crowd is saying unless it's through the TV. So sometimes I like legitimately, if a chant is happening, like I have to take off my headphones to like hear what it is. And then I have to, if it's not good, I have to think of something that sounds similarly and then say it or whatever, like because the headphones are in. I saw all of them had like the same exact headphones I'm in, and people are yelling at them. It's like, those motherfuckers can't hear a word.
Do they turn the mix up though for the crowd?
For WWE?
No, for like performers probably.
I don't think so.
They're all separate. I know, like talking to musicians, some of them want way more like crowd noise. Some want only like some people. It's how they want it.
Hey, it sounded like they were super music people.
I would believe that.
Like it sounded like
instrument heavy and
like super and because there was a grand piano, there was a fucking other thing.
So they just basically zone out.
Symphony.
I think so. Yeah, it's just like, hey, we're doing a show right now, as opposed to like a whole give and take. But maybe they could hear it. I don't know. The motivational speeches are like, Timmy, you're killing it. I know. I still don't know who Timmy is.
If you would just say thank you.
Thank you. If Joe was to respond every time he was yelled at, though, he is
talking all night.
Berated. Yeah, I mean he is
legend,
bro. That Life's Been Good to Me performance.
He had a big solo career, didn't he?
Well, Life's Been Good to Me is his, and I don't think he had to do much more than that. They probably just play that on the radio. This guy's coming, bang, sell out the entire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Man, him shredding too, because it wasn't perfect, right? Which I think is like the difference of live versus the album stuff. Like the creative liberties that are taken, whether it's because he either forgets what he's supposed to say or he has missed the time where he was supposed to say something. So now he was remixing some songs.
Yeah, that's why people love it, because it's memorable. Like really when you go to those live shows, like there's a good chance that whoever's in there that night, that's like the only version of that song that like the only people who are ever going to hear that are the people that were there.
It was awesome. I had fun. I guess they're coming to Columbus April 19th.
There you go, AJ.
There's 4 tickets to the front row available on SeatGeek right now, AJ.
Buy them.
No, I don't need the front row. You know my spot. I told you, side stage or box.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever sit front row again, but I'm happy it was for a Joe Walsh show.
Yeah. Experienced it.
It was cool, man. It was really cool.
I don't think Don Henley would be too happy with you calling it the Joe Walsh show.
No offense to him. I didn't even see him.
It's not his fault. It's just because the drums were, back middle. And
the drums were back middle, right behind the box.
Yeah, you couldn't see it.
I could not see.
Does he play the drums and sing at the same time?
Oh yeah, I saw that on like the on the TV.
Very, very difficult from what I hear.
Yeah, but by the way, like belting it while still, I was very impressed with him. But once again, I couldn't see it. Yeah. I saw him on a TV. He might have been zoomed in. You know what I mean, from where I was at. Even though I was closest to him, I think, out of anybody. But when he came up to the front. And he started singing, there were 5 wide right there. And I'm just looking straight up at him. It's like, holy shit, this is pretty fucking cool. Yeah. This is the goddamn Eagles here. Good lighting, too. The mood was a pretty good set.
Bet.
The vitamins were great.
Hell yeah.
Had to pour my bottle of water into some see-through plastic cups, though. So I was 2 ice-cold waters wide. They became 2 very warm waters wide. Couldn't get any more waters because during that 20 minutes, everybody in the arena was trying to get waters. Wide. The lines are 45 to 50 minutes long. Wide. We only have 20 minutes. Wide. Why is this building constructed the way it is? Wide. I see they're trying to make some advances. They have gone backwards. Wide. Those are just some thoughts that I had during that 20-minute period.
Did you have neck cramps? Was it that kind of angle?
So the way I was kind of sprawled out, because I was right in the middle, so nobody was going in front of us, right? Because if they wanted to exit, they would go that way or that way. So we were the end of exiting left portion because we're in the middle.
Nice.
So able to kick the legs out, which goal number one whenever I'm going somewhere because I like the legs to be able to kind of go out. So my neck actually wasn't that bad because I was laying. It was just the sciatica all the way down there to the heel, all basically. It was awesome. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Tyreek Hill is a goddamn dolphin.
Man. Gump is very excited.
Gump was I parked in his basement garage because there's.
Oh, for the show.
By the way, Indiana, like.
Well, I mean, they've been trying to rebuild that garage next to Grain Bridge for the past 3 years.
This fucking place, dude. Can't get home. They shut down all the goddamn roads to go home.
Yeah.
Just there's never. I assume there's a city organizer that decides like when construction's done to what. And we had a good couple of years where there wasn't a lot happening. And, like there was just boards up all over everybody's fucking windows where I think they could have made some of the changes maybe that they wanted to make. But now, like, every parking garage was full.
Oh, yeah.
That was anywhere within earshot of the goddamn arena. It's like, how do we not have enough parking? And then they shut down roads that lead you to and out. It's just, it was a clusterfuck.
Yeah, shit show.
That's why I miss fucking Hotel California.
Bullshit.
Sons of bitches.
Damn you, Hogset.
That's why. Whoa.
Definitely.
He's still there?
Yeah,
I
unfortunately.
don't know. When's the election?
2 years?
On a Tuesday at some point.
That is super. It's a super Tuesday.
24.
I don't know if he's going to win. I don't know if a lot of incumbents at local legislatures are going to win.
Yeah, probably not.
It's Rainwater's time.
I don't know if he's running again.
Oh, he will.
He fucking better be.
Rainwater's a goddamn gubernatorial candidate, please. Not a mayor. Goddamn, learn your fucking local
Oh,
politics.
yeah. No, that's on me. I was mixing up Rainwater's brother, who's also running for mayor.
The Rainwaters are like the Sterators of officiating.
Exactly. Gene Rainwater.
How about Gene Steratore saying, my dad, I was in it, and I got a cousin Frankie, and then my old little brother's in there, and then my son is in small ball. And then he said play, by the way. He was talking about for reffing, he was like, I play here, I play there. I like that. I like that mindset. Like, that is how it is. The third team on the field, like, that is what we need every ref to have, AJ. A lot of promise and hope came from that conversation with Steratore for me.
I agree, but also to what you said yesterday before he was on the show, he absolutely should have some kind of school that he runs on how to deal with play. Like, I like how they probably have they don't get as much training on, hey, how do you interact with coaches? How do you interact with players? That's what Gene, I think, really specializes in.
Well, Gene, Western Pennsylvania Paisan, Pittsburgh Paisano.
I read where he and his brother have a Steratore sanitation company. Is that real?
That would be hilarious. That would be
read that
so
for real.
Italian. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I can't fucking handle how Italian Gene Steratore is.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's saying yes.
I think
Steratore
so,
sanitation
if I
is.
remember correctly.
By the way, they're efficient. They're quick. They're good business.
In and out.
Smart.
Sanitation business.
Hey.
Steratores.
You know what that means.
Uh-oh.
He's the best ref in the history of the NFL.
That's right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we thought, dude.
What's his other brother do?
They're all in officiating.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are we sure? I don't know. These families, they get big.
Who are these families?
Italian families.
Wow. Now he's saying
Jeez.
these.
Wow.
Jeez. Dare you people? Is that what you're saying next?
No. Talking about the Steratores.
Okay.
I do love how he was talking about giving technical fouls, and he said, I got to whack you.
Yeah.
I got to whack you.
This ain't murder, by the way. This is suicide.
Yeah.
All right? This ain't a murder.
See what I'm saying?
I got to hit you one time to put you down in your seat, and then if I got to whack you, anytime you see the hand go over like this, you know what I'm talking.
My father told me, you got a bazooka on your head, okay?
They're throwing BBs. You don't need to bring the bazooka, but you don't show that thing. You throw that thing.
Yeah. All the time.
He goes, I was down on the south side last night, Pat. That's all. He's the man. But he talked about those 5% where you got to massage the game, where he said, Randy, get to the top of his route. He got his hand down here. Is he cheating? Kind of, but he cheated good. So let's go ahead and let this thing roll or whatever. That type of feel, I think a lot of refs are missing out on. It's probably because they're scared to fucking death out there. That's the problem. Yeah. Gene had confidence, and I think that's what Gene's saying, like 15 years of doing this. Yeah. You build up the confidence to be able to handle yourself in that situation. So I don't know how it's fixed. Maybe the Steratore Standard School is maybe the answer. And by the way, we would love to invest in that if that is the case, especially after talking to them, let alone watching them.
Yeah. Reffing's hard, man. When I was like in 6th grade, I'd ref on weekends. I'd ref these basketball games starting at like kindergartners up through like 3rd or 4th grade, and it was brutal. Like the parents were horrible, yelled at me the whole time. Like it was a joke.
I ref soccer, I think, one weekend.
Yeah.
I threw one fan out. Dad.
I did do that as an ump when I'd ump behind the plate. Coaches, fans, parents, it was terrible.
Made 2 terrible calls. I mean, absolutely terrible calls.
In soccer?
Yeah.
Like what are I don't even understand any of the calls in soccer when I'm watching my daughter. I don't get it.
Well, there's like the let it play on, type stuff, and then there isn't. Like, I'm a big play on guy, and I think that's because when I played, it was like, hey.
Is that for like, you talking like offsides, or what do you mean?
No, like if somebody
Play on.
fouls you, but you feel like the team is still getting advantage, you should just let that thing go. And I'm a big like, hey, we should let this go. Like if the team is getting the ball, let it go. And there was a couple fans that didn't like how loose I was calling the game, because I like a little bit more of a active in there. And I decided this ain't fucking for me. That guy stinks, and so does his kid. So
Why do soccer refs have to wear the high socks like they have shin guards on?
You don't like uniforms, dude? Why do the
Our uniforms are the worst.
Oh, are they?
Is that right?
Are they?
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
I disagree. That guy that reffed the United States men's game,
Mm-hmm.
what was his name? The Jamaican guy.
Yeah, he was a
He had all he had. Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Trying
good
to
time
figure
to
it out.
shut the fuck up. He
Got a
looked
big
awesome.
big one tomorrow night at the Azteca in Mexico, my friend.
Who?
USA.
Versus Mexico?
Plus 360 US is on the money line.
Let's fucking boost that. By the way,
That's not where people got curb stomped.
Well,
is
it is in that country, yeah.
Yeah, it's around there.
Liga MX is not pumped that you will remember that forever, but it's going to be hard not to bring up every
I
single
might
time.
feel for the poor victims. Yeah.
What do you mean? The
everyone will
governor
remember.
said no one got hurt.
True.
That was all. That was not real.
Dead. Nobody
false
died.
flag.
That's what I mean.
He said people got hurt. He said nobody died.
Well, yeah, but
There's some bodies
same
down.
difference.
Yeah, they're dead now, actually. I think they just weren't at the time.
17 of them.
Rest in peace to them, please.
Yes.
Hey, we're back in the win and boost game.
Hell yeah. Really?
We tried to put a couple boosts up for March Madness. They were turned down.
So now you have some that are.
Well, we put one in for the Pens last night, for Sidney Crosby to
Old Faithful.
score a point, and then for the Pens to beat the fuck out of the Columbus Crew. And they did.
It happened.
That was almost the easiest thing of all time. They pitched, by the way, classic pitch. Sidney Crosby to score a goal and for the Pens to win. And I said, well, the reason why Sidney Crosby is the GOAT is because he doesn't just score, he creates opportunities.
Yeah.
So he moved it to score a point and for them to win. I think he had a point on the first goal. He ended up with 3 assists. I mean, how you doing? Keep it moving. We did it. We're back. Everybody eats shit. We win.
Yeah,
3 apples.
He gave Getzel a wide open net, too, on one beautiful feed.
Well, and he also scored a goal, I guess, and got taken back because of Gensel's hand or whatever.
Getzel.
Whatever the case. Imagine if that would have happened and that was the boost. We would have been.
So mad.
Furious.
Something to think about, though, now. Getzel will score a goal and the Penguins to win
Keep
because Sidney's
Gensel's
gonna
name
feed
out
it.
of your mouth, okay? I don't like you saying it.
You're a Kraken fan, so why do you even care?
No, Pens fan.
Yeah, okay.
You're not a Pens fan.
Talked about this many, many times.
Yeah.
Well, you shut up and keep rooting for an AHL team.
I was too busy watching Mo Sider fucking take out the Flyers last night.
Oh, the Flyers
That's
stink.
the best young guys in the league. You guys are
That's not
fucked
true.
for the next
I'm
Best
sorry,
young guys in the
Fox.
league. Y'all college hockey team. Way to go.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Hey, why don't you guys play against Ohio State
This
next?
guy
They got a
is
good hockey team.
6'4" and he's taking bodies out.
Congrats. Your
Hey,
season ends in like 2 weeks. Dude.
No.
Nobody
Oh,
cares.
Idiot.
Texas hockey,
You guys
baby.
never
right
celebrated
next
a
to
cup,
us.
dude.
Hey, maybe the Red Wings can build up their record by playing against the Indy Fuel.
Yeah.
That'd be smart.
You
That's an
watch
idea.
your mouth.
By the way,
okay?
They got a 6'4" guy that flies around.
Oh, yeah.
True.
And they have a packed house.
Oh yeah.
I went to the Home and Garden show same time that they had a game on Friday night.
Did somebody hit the
I don't
Gumpy?
know. I don't know, but there was
Gumpy.
a packed house crowd.
What is this guy's problem? He laughed at you for going to Home and Garden show. That's fucking good show down there.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Fucking patios were incredible.
Did you just
Probably
buy
have some
one?
generators out there,
I
all
did.
kind of stuff.
I did actually, yeah.
Yeah, they have entire rooms set up there too. It's like a little homerama.
They had outside saunas. They were fucking sweet.
Tell you what, I don't hate that those days are behind me, my friend.
That was my idea to go show.
Amen. 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 Gumpy lives in an apartment
Yeah.
right next to a homeless man who smokes blunts rapidly on a bike. Because he accosted Sam and I like 4 different times while we were walking to Gumpy's apartment to get our card back. He was coughing heavily, and I go, This guy might die right here. You all right? That's what happens when you hit a blunt, dude. All right. I said, all right, respect. And, I just gave him like a good old respect and just kept it moving. And then he stopped coughing. I'm like, oh, he's getting back on his bike right now. Didn't want to turn and look at him. Didn't want to make eye contact. We're the only two on the street. So then he rides his bike by us, and his feet slip off the pedals right next to us.
Naturally.
So now he's hit his dick off of the bar in the middle. So, now he's next to us again. I'm like, you're going to be all right, man. Just hit that blunt again or whatever. He's like, oh, my nose. All right. And then we keep walking. Then, boom, he comes up again. Bang, he's outside it again. And he's like, you guys know where? Nope, we have no fucking clue where we are. We're lost too, pal. Sorry about it. All right. And then he rides the bike again. This guy was awesome.
This Gumpy's roommate?
I think so, yeah.
That alley at night is
bad.
You never know, my friend.
It was a great conversation. I got pretty good... I got pretty good pop on a couple of those, though. He came with something new each time, which I respect. It was the blunt, then it was his nuts, then he was lost. So those are 3 very good attention grabbers. He didn't even ask for money. He was just fucking, I think, wanted a conversation.
Good guy.
I don't know if he's a good guy. I think
fresh out of jail, but
we're not sure.
Oh no, the jail's right there. That guy 1,000% is fresh out of jail.
He did have some hilarious tats on his hands, I saw on the bike, because he did find a hoodie from whoever. It was too small, but he did have a hoodie on. And the tats on his hands did appear as if somebody closed their eyes wrong-handed and just drew on it.
Got him.
He's still smoking blunts.
Yeah, gotta respect it.
He's living his
got
best
a pretty
life.
sweet bike.
The bike was very nice.
Yeah,
really?
Was it a dyno?
That was like a mountain bike.
Mongoose?
Nah.
Track?
Didn't have
If
any
you'd had
pegs.
front and back pegs, would you have Sam had jumped on?
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the whole thing. If it would have had pegs, I think maybe a little bit more conversation, but he could barely ride that mountain
How
bike.
awesome would that be if a random person took a picture of you and Sam riding on the same bike, if some random dude smoking blunts, she's on the front pegs and you're on the back.
Random homeless guy.
With your little hands on his shoulders. All right, we're going that way, bud.
Yeah. Well,
that'd be awesome.
Would have been, it was raining last night pretty hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Actually might have looked into that if that was an option, but
You could probably hire him, throw him a few bucks to go over to the old house and feed the animals the Fruit Loops and Corn Pops.
well, I didn't have any money on me either. So I knew that's what he wanted, but I didn't have any money on me, and it didn't look like he was carrying a square around with him, So I wasn't gonna be able to give him a card.
Sure.
So it was there was no positive outcome except for a respect, a couple of those, and a good laugh at him. You'll be okay. I don't know how many times he gets that in his life.
I definitely forgot that you would need my fob to get back into the garage.
Yeah, we were locked
Didn't
out.
think that
We were
through.
locked out, so we were stuck with that guy for 6
Where
months.
was Goomp? Were you sleeping?
Nah.
No, Goomp doesn't sleep. Goomp doesn't sleep.
I've been in Goomp's lobby over there, or walked through the halls. I didn't go in his place, but
Anytime
nice spot
you
over
do.
there.
Oh yeah.
We were in his garage,
Championship.
actually. The garage, same garage. I parked in that same garage.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a good spot.
It is a good spot. Hard to get into because
Very.
you got blunts on a bike outside.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyways, I bet that guy would have been an incredible whatever if whatever happened didn't happen to him. So
Pat, can I make an announcement?
yeah.
Just got confirmation on 2 guests for That's Hockey
Whoa!
Talk tonight.
This is what we were
2
waiting
guests.
for.
Let's go.
This is what we were waiting for
Let's
today.
go.
Officially official at 8 p.m. We will be joined by Kevin Weeks.
Fucking guy! You know, fucking Weeksy, this guy's breaking news all over the globe. In the middle of a windstorm, in the back of an electrical appliance closet, in the middle of a studio, in his car, on a bike, next to that blunt guy. I mean, Weeksy's. This guy is a former goaltender. He breaks news everywhere. Fucking Weeksy's on that.
That's not all, Pat.
No
That's not
way.
all. We're also
Mario.
being joined by Minnesota Wild GM and former Pittsburgh Penguins Stanley Cup champion Billy Garrett.
Billy G.
Oh, Billy G.
Let's go.
Hey, GUERIN. You want to win? Get Billy Garrett. I mean, that is
Hell yeah.
an absolute stud. What a night.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/That's Hockey Talk. Nick Moraldo, Goomp, also known as Goomps, also known as Goompy, also known as Bubba Gumpino, Gumpy, Rupper, Stanley Cup champion, Weeksy, and Billy fucking G, dude. Wow.
Can't wait.
We got a show.
Can't wait to be in the comments section.
See you in the comments.
Yeah, see you in the box.
Sin bin, Fox.
Yeah, Foxy, stop saying stupid stuff in there.
Never do.
Go in there and pipe down.
I mean, Foxy's right though. For the NHL, it's good for the NHL if Detroit is good because people look at Detroit.
Yeah, why
as-
do you think no one's cared for the last, 5 years? Because the Red Wings haven't been in the playoffs.
Well, just real quick, you're right. Nobody cares about the Red Wings, okay?
No, the NHL.
They just signed a deal with 2 fucking networks.
Yeah, because they know Red Wings are back. We got to sign a deal. We got to get people
guys are
to
back?
see this team.
Where are you back? You're bad at hockey.
Who's the most upcoming team in the league?
Upcoming. The season's over. Who gives a fuck?
Next year we are winning the Stanley Cup. Thank you, AJ.
No, Canadian.
Shut the fuck
It's
up.
Columbus before Detroit.
No.
Nah, they traded Domi, dude.
It's Detroit. It's hockey town.
The
We're
Cougars
back.
are on the rise.
I gotta go nap. I'm gonna miss hockey talk probably tonight. If I had to guess, I'm gonna miss. No, I'll probably wake. I gotta hit the Stairmaster. I threw 400 punches yesterday in a fight.
Before the concert?
Yeah. That's why we were late, because it fucking went to the 5th round.
What are you gonna do?
Didn't expect that.
I didn't expect it to go to the 5th round. I did implement after the 3rd round. I brought a chair in the room over to my corner.
Nice.
And I actually sat in between rounds, because they have the stool there in the virtual reality.
Hey, you got it.
And I just stare at it every time. And it was after the 3rd round. I was like, I would actually like
Take a
it.
seat.
Yeah,
I would like that stool. So I grabbed a chair in the room and moved it over, and I sat down on it. Boy, that minute went by a lot quicker when I was sitting down. I was just staring up at it, and all of a sudden you hear 10 seconds.
Oh, fuck.
Stand back up. Here we go. Round 4, dude. That's why we were late. We missed Hotel California. We missed Hotel California because I was boxing that son of a bitch. Man.
That's the fight game.
Yeah, that's a good bout.
Yeah.
Bro, I was blown up. I was blown up. After that fight, I ended up just laying in my carpet. And then I forgot we had to go to a concert, obviously.
Sure.
In that moment, because I was just, trying not to die. And then Sam gives me the old, what are we doing? I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, that's right.
Concert tonight. And I rolled over, and I used that same chair to get up, and then I just kind of crawled upstairs. And then we showed up 25 minutes late into a 40-minute set and took a 20-minute break and had to do a hot lap and then watch fucking dudes rock out.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait to watch that Talkie Talk tonight. Can't wait. I feel like I'm in really good shape, though. I feel like I'm in really good shape.
You still got plenty of time.
Yeah. 12 days? 11 days?
12. Or, because it's Wednesday. 1, 2.
11, I
11,
believe.
yeah.
11 days. My head was 12, so we got less days than I thought.
Well, including today. 12.
Oh, yeah. Today counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel good, AJ. I feel real good, actually.
Do you know what you're going to wear?
Ooh, that's a great question. No. Because I got to have...
Wear Speedos.
I don't think so.
Speedos singular.
I would not. Do any guys choose to wear those? I know Brock used to wear that back in the day. Or do they get pushed on them? Because I would imagine nobody wants to wear those.
I think guys want to wear it, yeah. Guys that wanted to be like professional wrestlers, like that is the wrestlers
I
love
guess,
them.
yeah.
Give me the
Batista?
boots. Give me the tights, the whole
Like,
thing.
do they ever get comfortable wearing that, though, and wrestling in that?
I mean, Randy Orton's been wearing it for like 25, 30 years.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
By the way, he is.
Oh, my God, shredded.
As soon as I got back on Raw, he was there. And I was like, what's up, dude? He was like, I didn't see it. Heard it went well. I was like, I was probably the shits. He goes, oh, you're one of those guys? And I was like, every time. And I just walked right by or whatever. And he was like, oh, okay. It was kind of a cool little moment there, Like, oh, you're going to think you stink every single time? Yeah, every time. Until I watch it. I'd like to watch it back. Oh, I didn't fuck up and ruin the business. That's good. That's kind of how I view everything, Oh, did I ruin the business? Let me watch. I mean, not great, but I didn't fucking ruin the business.
Okay.
All right, that's good. Let's go. I'm pumped, AJ. We'll see you manana, pal. How'd Ohio State Pro Day go, you think? Pretty good?
Yeah, I guess I don't think they're throwing. They're like throwing right now. They started around noon, I think, doing like weight room stuff, but quarterbacks weren't going to throw till 3:30.
How come they're having Cardell Jones throw?
Why not? I mean, you need people to throw. I mean, C.J. Stroud is throwing too, the quarterback who is currently there. So both of them.
Is that something like bigger schools? Does Ohio State do that often? Older players?
Troy came back. Troy Smith came back and has thrown it a few pro days.
Is it to get a look or is it just to help?
I think both. Honestly, I think maybe someone takes a shot on you. Maybe you look great and they take a shot, but also they need somebody with an arm that can throw to them.
Hey, Neil Brown, I want to throw next year at the fucking.
There you go.
There we go. Make it happen.
Do they have any guys going to?
Whoa.
Yes, West Virginia has NFL guys.
No, I know they did, but this guy, I don't know if there's.
Currently.
What is going on?
They got Graham Harrell now. Graham can throw to him.
Can't recruit, dog.
Well, Graham's not trying to get back in the NFL.
No, Cham's not.
He still can sling that thing.
I mean,
he's got a point.
No.
We are out of here.
I didn't hear what someone said.
Ty started quoting Coach JB.
Yeah, he did.
I heard a JB accent. Over here, and we will let that one be. See you guys tomorrow. Hammer Dahn's in 15 minutes at youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. That's Hockey Talk tonight at 8 o'clock with Kevin Weeksy. Billy Guerin, Nick Moraldo, Gumpy, and Stanley Cup champion Mike Rupp. It's a hell of a day. We can't thank you all enough. See you tomorrow. Another big show tomorrow.
Huge.
Yes. And if you guys know any bookers, okay, I've made this bird call a few times, and it is a niche business.
Yes.
But if you know anybody, that could, we are back in the game of looking for bookers. Okay, we are attempting to find bookers for the show.
Mm-hmm.
If you know anybody, that'd be fantastic. And I understand other show hosts might be looking at me as if I'm lazy in doing all that. I concur. All right, I'm at the point where I don't want to be booking every fucking morning.
Everybody has bookers. No one's thinking that.
No, I think in the podcast game, like where we come from, where we hail, the internet game, everybody's kind of doing their own. But I would like to, formally reintroduce myself to the booking community that we would like a booker. We would.
Yeah.
I have some other stuff going on at the moment. I don't want to wake up with anxiety, though. Oh, my God, we got nobody to talk to.
I think every show, which there aren't many of them that go daily for 3 hours, probably are bookers.
I assume. A lot of them have networks, too, which also have bookers
Bingo.
into the network.
True.
So that's what we need in our network. I'll make a Twitter account. Hashtag somebody's gonna steal it. Let me make it. Whatever they steal, we'll just make another one. I'm gonna make a Twitter account. That's gonna become our booker until we find a booker for this. We need one though. We need one. It's not a fun job. It's actually a terrible job.
Mm-hmm.
Probably gonna hear no a lot. Our show is impossible to book for from what I've
allegedly
experience.
Right.
It's going to be tough to book for our show because we don't have a lot of, networks have a lot of,
glad handers.
Hey, we'll put you on this thing. You do this, you do that. We do not have that, but we do have a position open for a booker. If you know anybody that could potentially produce some results. Now, every booking company that we try, it ends up being the same exact thing. Give us a list of 400 people you'd like on the show. Okay, we'll take time to make this list. That I think just gets thrown in the trash.
Yeah, typically.
I think it just gets thrown in the trash, and then just like whoever can. I mean, it's just the last people we were with were great. They were very nice people. Everything was awesome, but I do believe that our show has become very difficult to book for. So we are looking for somebody that we will pay mightily to. By the way, that is something we will pay for absolutely if it takes the morning. Who's on the show?
Mm-hmm.
I'm about done with doing that, AJ. I'm about done with doing that.
I get it. Yeah, someone should be doing that for sure.
Why don't you?
I'm not great at it.
Me neither. I fucking stink at it because I don't care.
I just, it's tough to bug people. I'm not the guy some people like being the guy to set things up. Oh, I got you. You want to go to dinner and cool club and all that. And people want to be that person. I'm like, I am not that person.
Steve wants to do that. From the concert.
Yeah.
Maybe call him.
Steve enjoys doing that.
If he's awake, tell him to call in and send a resume.
I bet you Steve is moving something right now. He's a salesperson. There's something on the move right now, because he got his hangover out of the way probably about midnight last night.
Yeah.
When he awoke after Desperado and kind of finished that thing out. Anyways, we're looking for a booker. Be your friend, tell a friend. We can't thank you enough. Hammer Down, then that's Hockey Talk. You all are the best humans on earth. Can't wait to see what the NFL has in store for us. Manana. Cheers.